Welcome to a dull and overcast Roots Hall, where Southend are looking to recover from their exit from the FA Trophy from National, Southside, Hampton and Richmond, but also overcome further adversity. Due to the injury to top goal scorer Harry Cardwell, it means Southend today only have one on the bench. Dan Mooney left the club. His contract was cancelled by mutual consent during the week, so Mario Velletti is the only man who's available to Kevin Mayer if he wants to make changes during this fixture. It is tough, really tough on the Southend United players and management as this transfer embargo bites. The takeover continues to drag. It is really difficult, really difficult. These are the 11 they're going to start for Southend United. David Martin is the goalkeeper. Across the back, Harry Taylor, Ollie Kensdale and Brooklyn Carbongolo. The two wide men, Gus Scott-Morris and Nathan Ralph. In the midfield, Wes Funguk returns from injury, Noor Hussein and Ollie Coker. And up front, Jack Wood and Jack Bridge joins him. Bridge being pushed forward. He's already got 5 goals this season. Can he add to it this afternoon? We've already mentioned the substitute, singular, is Mario Velletti. As for Bromley, they come into this fixture having progressed in the FA Trophy 7 days ago. They beat Slough by a 1-0. And following on from their success earlier on in the campaign against Southend United at Hayes Lane, when they won by 2-1 in August, they've only lost 2 of 18 in the league. So Andy Woodman, former Southend United goalkeeper, in charge, as seeing his side in second spot in the table at the moment. Grant Smith is the goalkeeper. 3 at the back, Reynolds, Webster and Pikawa. In the midfield, Pasley, Arthurs, Crowhouse and Topolodge. Whiteley is just behind the 2 strikers and fairly impressive goal scorers, in fairness, Michael Cheek and Olomola. They've got 15 between them. Cheek is in double figures on 10. There will be a minute's applause, just to give you a heads up, before we start this particular game, remembering Dan Kirby, who was big Blues fan, 4th generation Southend United supporter. He was a sponsor of the club, a businessman in the area, a devoted husband and father, and he sadly died earlier on this year. And Blues will be wearing a special kit as well, with his company on the front, and that will be auctioned off for charity in the new year. Southend United sit in 15th position in the table, with that 10-point deduction, of course, due to not paying debts on time. Bromley in second, going great guns, looking to get into the EFL for the first time in their history. They are some 8 points behind the league leaders, Chesterfield. Chesterfield in action today at Hartlepool. Keep you bang up to date with the goals going in around the division. Already in the National League this afternoon, Halifax Town have beaten Gateshead by 2-0 up in the northeast. The two teams ready themselves in the tunnel. Sammy the Shrimp, who's back with us this afternoon with his festive hat on. He was ill last week, so missed the particular fixture. But he is back today, and he's just tapping on his wrist, saying, where are the teams? Get on with it. We need to get this match up and running. Paul Clark, the former Southend United player and manager, is alongside us as we have hit the top of the hour. I'm sure the players will emerge very shortly. What do you make of this afternoon?
I'm disappointed with you. What's happening with the scoreboard?
The scoreboard hasn't arrived.
Hang on.
It's coming
Remind
soon.
me these promises you made last week.
I heard there may have been scoreboard action coming this afternoon, but it's not happened as yet. But big things are going to be happening to this ground once this takeover eventually takes place. We've been waiting some time, and we've been waiting some time for the two teams as well. They'll eventually come out onto the pitch. Southend United in their familiar blue with white trim, Bromley in their white strip with black trim and yellow socks for this one. Southend led out by their skipper Nathan Ralph. It is tough though, isn't it, on the players and the management team when you look at that team sheet and you see the word substitute.
Well, jokingly we said, well, that's what we had to do every week. Difference is the opposition had to do exactly the same as well, so it was a level playing field. I can't remember the last time Kevin Mayer was on a level playing field with any of the opposition managers, and so we've said it many times before, to have done what they've been doing over the course of this season is nothing short of remarkable. But it's ridiculous in this day and age that we go into a game praying to goodness that someone doesn't get hurt in the first minute.
And that is the problem. A lot of people have said, and I'm turning around to that, where's the welfare from the National League? I know there are rules and you have got to only have these certain number of registered players, but there's surely got to be a welfare issue, surely, to goodness.
You would have thought so, but I guess that they look at it and go, well, you're allowed 16 players, you can register 16 players. Should the numbers fall short like they are now, then you can bring players in, but what they didn't foresee was you got an embargo at the same time, which sort of compounds the problems. It's
so difficult, really is. But it is what it is, as one manager kept saying, and mate, you're right, okay, I've had a moan about it, let's get on with it. Those 11, and they've done it before, will step up and try and put all that adversity behind them and go into this fixture and get something from it. We are going to have that minute's applause then, remembering Dan Kirby. The players come around the centre circle to mark his death.
We now honour the memory of instrumental club sponsor Dan Kirby, who tragically passed away in September. Dan was a fourth generation Southend fan, thriving businessman, a devoted husband and loving father. Through his company, Trade Price Cars, Dan showed huge support for Southend United, a partnership that would extend over the course of a decade. We will now have a minute's applause for Dan, beginning and ending on the referee's whistle.
Remembering long-time sponsor of the club, Dan Kirby, who passed away in September. BBC Essex live at Roots Hall, where we will eventually get going for this National League fixture. It is 11 against 11. After all, the 11 of Southend United: Martin, Scott Morris, Ralph, Kensdale, Bridge, Hussein, Wood, Taylor, Funguk, Carbongolo and Coker, against the 11 of Bromley: Smith, Reynolds, Pikawa, Passley, Cheek, Webster, Whiteley, Arthurs, Topolodge, Crowhouse and Maloa. We're all set for this game. Referee is Gary Parsons. He's checked there are 11 on each side. There are. And Southend United's Wes Funguk gets us up and running. Blues kicking towards the North Bank end in the first half as we look on from the back of the main grandstand, which is very well populated, as indeed is the West Stand opposite us. Early touch for Brooklyn Carbongolo and then turned back to the goalkeeper by Nathan Ralph, and it's an early kick forward by about 10 yards for David Martin, and Blues just getting a feel of the ball and a feel of the fixture and trying to get themselves into this. They were going well against Hampton and Richmond 7 days ago until the final 12 minutes when it all went pear-shaped. They're going to try and avoid anything like that this afternoon and try against the odds to get something from this fixture against high-flying Bromley, are in second spot at the start of play. Ball out of play on the far side, so throw in on halfway to Southend on the left, which is taken by Brooklyn Carbongolo. He plays it down to Ollie Kensdale as Boreham Wood take the lead against Oxford City in the National League, and Hartlepool are 1-0 down against the leaders Chesterfield up at Victoria Park. Left hand side, Blues control it with Brooklyn Carbongolo, and now arrowed forward by Hussein Long, just over the head of the leaping Gus Scott Morris on the edge of the area, glances out of play, and there's a throw in for Southend United after it came off the defender. Bournemouth have taken the lead against Luton in the Premier League. Early goal on the South Coast. Oh no, excuse me, it's Bournemouth 0, Luton 1. Luton have taken the lead on the South Coast. Southend United take that throw in. Gus Scott Morris crosses it in, taken by the goalkeeper just inside his 6-yard area. 0-0 live on BBC Essex. We've been playing almost 2 minutes. Paul Clark's alongside me.
Just in those opening 2 minutes, you already see the miss from Harry Cardwell. A ball from Carbongolo, knocked down the channel. Nobody chasing now after it, and then there a cross coming in from Gus Scott Morris from the right hand side, and nobody getting across the front of the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he is going to be a huge miss. There's no two ways about it.
12 goals, but not in the side today due to a knee problem. Harry Taylor couldn't control on this near side. Ollie Kensdale though defends as the ball is threaded forward. Brooklyn Carbongolo plays it up to Wes Funguk on halfway. Further wide on the left hand side for Nathan Ralph. Rolling it back. Noor Hussein looks up, looks for options, sweeps the ball over to the right hand side, controlled really well by Harry Taylor. Plants it forward. Wood was coming to try and gather, but cleared away by Picawa. And it's going to drift out of play for a goal kick for Bromley. And Wrexham have already taken the lead against Colchester in our other commentary match on BBC Essex in League 2. Wrexham 1, Colchester United 0. Wrexham in second spot, Colchester United flirting with the relegation zone. You fear it's going to be a long afternoon for Matty Etherington's side.
Just watching the warm-up as well, we wondered whether Jack Bridge was going to play up top with Jack Wood, but Darren Curry normally warms up the two strikers as the goalkeeper miskicks it, but normally pick it up. He normally warms up the two strikers together, but this time,
as Brooklyn Carbongolo slides it back into his own penalty area, Ollie Kensdale deals with that calmly, and Taylor has kicked it out of play on this near side throw in for Bromley.
Sorry, I was going to say, but it was clear as a bell that he was just warming up Jack Wood on his own, and Jack Bridge was off working with the midfield players, so it looks like Jack will probably play that a little bit deeper, and it's going to be a big ask for the young man to try and lead the line on his own up front.
Cole Picawa will take this throw in for Bromley on the left hand side, in line with the Blues penalty area, throws it into the area. Brooklyn Carbongolo got a head onto it, comes to the edge of the area, shot came in from Arthurs, blocked away by Southend United, hooked back towards the penalty box. Bromley still pressurising. Gus Scott Morris heads clear out onto this near side, it rolls out of play. It's going to be a throw in to Bromley after Topolodge got just a little whack on the back of the ankle from Gus Scott Morris.
Yeah, long throw causing all sorts of problems. Carbongolo got underneath it, and Blues could only scramble it to the edge of the box, and when the shot came in, Ollie Kensdale got a good block on it.
Topolodge takes the throw, tried to be touched on, but not too successfully by Whiteley, but another throw in here as a result for a Bromley. This time Topolodge lays it back to centre back Byron Webster, the skipper. Outside of his own penalty area in the orange is Grant Smith, the goalkeeper. Left-footed long forward from him, headed down. Visitors making tracks. Whiteley plays it to Topolodge on the left. Topolodge gets the cross in, headed away by Brooklyn Carbongolo, using his height to good advantage. Still 0-0 live on BBC Essex. Just over 5 minutes gone here at Roots Hall. Bromley have put it out of play on that far side throw for Southend.
Sneaky little bit of play from Bromley there. Centre half had it and he went to play it out to the fullback. Jack Bridge from midfield went to go to sprint to close the fullback down. Midfield player, a big handful, grabbed the back of his shirt. And, of course, the referee's looking at the fullback and looking at the centre half playing the ball between them. Doesn't see it, and Jack Bridge, who wants to go and close down, not allowed to get anywhere near him.
Here's Ollie Kensdale, delivers it to Norhu Sin, who plays it back into a bit of space. That space is dealt with by Ollie Kensdale. Keeper gets it away towards halfway for Southend United. Still bouncing around in the middle of their own half is Harry Taylor. Delivers it to Ollie Coker. Coker, once again another man that grows with every match you see him play, and now he's got a bit of room to run forwards. Plays it square just before the halfway line to Brooklyn Carbongolo. To Nathan Ralph with the orange boots. Back inside to Norhu Sin, and here's Ollie Coker inside Ollie Kensdale inside the centre circle. Jack Bridge gets felled from behind. That's a free kick, and Jude Arthurs is penalised by referee Gary Parsons.
Yeah, it was Jude Arthurs that pulled Jack Bridge back a little bit earlier on as well. Jack just took a whack on the back of the ankle there, which heart in mouth for the next couple of moments while he hopefully runs that off.
And that's the worry. Here's Norhu Sin with that free kick, headed away by the visitors. Wes Funguk can't control in a difficult position. Here is Brooklyn Carbongolo delivering it to Gus Scott Morris. Touches it forward. Ollie Coker had 3 white shirts round him. It's taken away from the Southend midfielder. Near the centre circle on this near side is Harry Taylor, playing it back to Kensdale, who turns it back to his goalkeeper David Martin, retaining the position today despite Colin Dengendy returning from his long-term injury. Wes Funguk just inside the opposition half for Southend United. Ralph playing it back into his own area. Brooklyn Carbongolo plays the long ball. Was looking for Gus Scott Morris on the right hand side. It was picked off on this near side by Bez Topolodge, and now down the line from Whiteley. On one more to Arthurs. Up against Kensdale. Plays it back. It's Topolodge getting it from Whiteley. Whiteley again. Touching forward to Topolodge. Neat bit of skill, controls towards the edge of the area it goes. Whiteley has got it from Arthurs, who's becoming a threat, and it comes off Southend United's Harry Taylor last. That's going to be a corner kick, the first of the afternoon for Bromley.
Great movement from Bromley as well, and it's the first time I've seen that. Gus Scott Morris just got a little bit lazy with his runner there, and they managed to play the ball in behind him, but thankfully Harry Taylor managed to get across.
See why they're in second spot.
Yeah, and interesting, Blues leaving one up. Bromley confident enough just to leave one man back with him.
Jack Wood's the man up for Southend. Corner kick.
That's not even close. That's closer to the D,
which is going to be told to be get into the corner quadrant. It is now in overlapping the corner quadrant.
He moved it back half a yard.
Corner kick is correct now.
Move it forward again.
And he moves the ball again.
It's behind you.
Player. In pantomime season, here is the villain to put in the corner kick to the near post, cleared away by Southend United out onto this near side, and it's going to be a throw in.
All that in the corner was garbage.
Jude Arthurs was playing his part to a T. Throw in, and we've seen the long throw from Pikawa before. Wipes the ball on his jersey. Paul Pikawa with the long throw into the penalty area. Found the 6-yard area. Hooked away by, on the volley, Ollie Kensdale. Still remains 0-0 on BBC Essex. Gus Scott Morris trying to get away down the right channel in front of the technical areas. Ball has drifted out of play for a throw in just in front of us for Bromley. Callum Reynolds went down under challenge, but immediately gets back on to the field of play, and Picara is going to take the throw in himself. Down the line once again, and again with distance. Headed away by Gus Scott Morris. Noel Sin and Arthur's tangle. Blues come away with the ball with initially Coker, and now Ralph with a ball forward, and this time the referee spots the infringement on Jack Bridge as he tried to escape. He bemoans the official, but the decision is given in favour of Kevin Mayer's side.
To be honest, they're doing it all the time. They're very good at blocking runs. You know, the ball's 30 yards, and instead of going sort of alongside him, someone blue shirt goes to make a run. Instead of tracking him, they just step across him and bump him. They're doing it all over the park. It's obviously something that they've worked on. The referee's going to have eyes in the back of his head.
Free kick for Southend United then, just inside the opposition half. Just outside the centre circle. And Norhu Sin will deliver. Right-footed, long one to the apex of the penalty area. Gus Scott Morris and Brooklyn Carbongola are over here, and between them they've come away with it, but then they've run out of play. And Gus Scott Morris clattered into the advertising hoardings. That is nasty. He was off balance, he was falling off the pitch and smashed his face into the advertising hoardings, and John Gowans, the Southend United physio, is on to immediately administer treatment. That was really, really nasty, and we hope that Gus Scott Morris is okay. The doctor is over as well, the physio from Bromley is over to assist, and the medical personnel immediately walk round the side of the ground as well. That was really nasty.
Yeah, both Gus and the Bromley player both going for the ball by a couple of yards from the corner flag, and Gus trying desperately to get the cross in before it ran out over the byline, and he took a swing at it and unfortunately missed it because the lad's leant on his shoulder. Then as Gus has missed it, his foot's come down, he's on the slope that runs off the pitch, he's hit that, gone forward, smashed into the wall, and let's just hope it's a soft part of his body that's caught the wall.
That was a really nasty looking collision between his body and the advertising hoarding, and the treatment is being administered, and all this happening after some let's have a quick look at the stopwatch, after 12 minutes of this game. That is nasty. Thankfully he's now sitting up, which is
doing all the concussion checks, Nick.
Well, I'm not surprised, because the way he clattered into that ball, I think it was with his face. It was just so awkward because he was falling down, he was falling off the pitch because he got that slight camber off it as well onto the cinder track, and as he was falling, he just had no way of stopping himself hitting the...
He's completely off balance because, as I say, he's tried to put the cross in, he's took a swing at it and missed that, and then got a nudge at the same time, so his body's completely, or he is completely out of control of his body, and he's just trying to put something down. He's put his foot down to obviously to hit the ground, and it's not there, it's sloping away from him, so that's took him even further. We're going at pace as well because they were both working hard to get there. That was a nasty incident.
Yeah.
Looks he's getting to his feet.
Well, that
thankfully.
is great. That is really good. He's back on his feet. Is Gus Scott Morris. Applause from all four sides of this ground. Everybody realised how nasty that situation was, and Gus Scott Morris is back on his feet.
Thoughts came to me of the lad that
Bath,
yeah,
absolutely. Was his name Fletcher, wasn't it? I think.
Yes.
Right, let's go to the National South while this is happening at Roots Hall. Braintree against Aveley. BBC Essex's Pete Morris has an update.
Easy knock-in just outside the 6-yard box, and Braintree with the first goal of the afternoon. Braintree 1, Aveley 0.
So genuinely good news for Braintree fans. They have taken the lead against Aveley in the National South. That was live here on BBC Essex. Also in that division this afternoon, Chelmsford City have made the trip round the M25, taking on St Albans. We'll get details of that as we progress. In League 2, it is still Wrexham 1, Colchester United 0. Colchester behind to an early goal. Gus Scott Morris is back on his feet. He's walking urgently around the pitch, wanting to get back on the action. He's pointing at Picard, I think it was, who tangled with him, and he wants action by the official. He's just got to calm himself down as well, Gus Scott Morris.
My first instinct was it was an unfortunate incident. The lads, they were both reaching for each other. Gus obviously feels he got a push in the back. It's important that he doesn't take retribution himself.
He looks fired up, and a lot of people are telling him to calm down, not least the referee. And Cole Picard as well, he's just telling him to calm down. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good news.
Yeah,
he looks fine.
Picard came over to him and sort of said, I didn't do it. And Gus sort of gave him a little nod, said, all right.
I didn't think he did.
Almost. No, I didn't think he did, but it looked like Gus had just boiled up a bit, thought that he'd got shoved, and then accepted the apology from the lad, and that's good for him. Well, hopefully he can get himself back on there now and put it all behind him.
We're back playing at Roots Hall after that lengthy delay. Gus Scott Morris will return shortly, because he has to wait 30 seconds as well now, as the ball's gone out of play away to our left-hand side for a goal kick for Southend United. That's the problem, of course, with that new rule about trying to stop time wasting. The players have to wait 30 seconds before they can come back on, that was brought in this season, and now it's not Gus Scott Morris's fault that he got injured, but he can't come on for the 30 seconds.
What possible advantage would he have gained from that? He's off the pitch, he's getting treatment off the pitch. The game, if they'd wanted to, could have gone ahead. Yeah. No, it's a nonsense.
It's a byproduct of a new rule. Eastleigh take the lead at Aldershot in the National League. Aldershot 0, Eastleigh 1. St Albans 0, Chelmsford City 1 in the National South. Chelmsford City in front at leafy St Albans. Here it is Southend 0, Bromley 0. Live on BBC Essex, but we're well behind everybody else due to the fact that we kicked off around about 5 minutes late, and we had that long injury delay after Gus Scott Morris got a face planted into the advertising boards behind the North Bank goal. We've been playing 17 and a half minutes officially, still 0-0. Here's Harry Taylor striding forward for Southend, holds it up, plays it square to Ollie Coker in front of us. Coker gets it back from Norhu Sid, controlled it well because it was just behind him in the end. And here is Ollie Kensdale inside his own half, over to the left hand side to Carbongolo and Wes Funguk. Gets it back, there's Carbongolo, and now to Kensdale, and now sliding it diagonally forward to Taylor, who moves up the park. Wide he goes to Gus Scott Morris, back in the fray after that really nasty injury. Goes forward for Southend United, looking for Wes Funguk, headed back to the goalkeeper eventually. He had to just adjust his run, did Grant Smith, but he got there, and no damage done as far as the visitors are concerned. Andy Woodman, the boss of Bromley, watching from the edge of his technical area with his familiar cap on, and he's sided coming forward down the right hand side. They've stretched it to the byline, cleared away by Southend United, only as far as Whiteley, who had that shot, but going down to gather was the Blues goalkeeper David Martin. 0-0.
Yeah, the lad it looked like he run it out for a goal kick, but managed to pull it back. When he got it to the edge of the box, thankfully, as a push in from behind from the cheek. That is a foul this time, and it's been given. But yeah, he cut it back to the edge of the box. Thankfully, there was nobody in a white shirt coming on to get the shot at goal.
Manchester City take the lead against Crystal Palace.
It's just a couple of times.
Palace nil.
Sorry, Nick, just a couple of times. Blues, it's an obvious ploy for them. They love hitting that big diagonal ball, but there's a couple of times they just keep trying to force it when it's not really on. They want to cross in
for Southend United. Screwed clearance away by Bromley, which they only half clear. Brooklyn Carbongolo battling in, and here's Jack Bridge on the left for Southend. Had three white shirts immediately around him. They've singled him out as a threat. He's gone out to play throw in Southend.
They're trying to hit that diagonal ball across the face of 8 or 9 white shirts instead of pulling people closer to them, leaving the blue shirt out wide on their own and then switching it as the surprise one.
Blues fans doing their bit around Roots Hall this afternoon. You can hear them in the background. Here is Ralph with a misplaced pass up towards Westphal. Didn't find the intended target. Tidying up at the back is Harry Taylor. Back to his goalkeeper, David Martin. Martin dragging it away from his man, who's been put under pressure. Kept in by a leap of Scott Morris, and here's Wood. Wood slides it forward to Bridge, edge of the area. Get the cross in, hit the defender, bounces through to the goalkeeper.
Well, Jack Wood did well, particularly well in the first place. A little bit unlucky there. Jack Bridge tried to fire the cross in, caught the defender, and actually spun in towards the keeper's near post. Unfortunately, he didn't have quite enough pace on it to catch the keeper by surprise.
Grant Smith hits it forward long for Bromley. There's Jack Bridge, who had his time at Bromley as well. Played it through towards Wood. Couldn't take it, but Wood could try to get in with the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper though comes out of his penalty area and does well. Just got there before the Southend striker. Remains goalless here on BBC Essex. The game is stretched and the chances are coming. Maybe for Southend United, who in adversity.
Love to have seen Jack Wood there just throw himself in at the goalkeeper and say, go on then, beat me, because he was going to be second best to it. Just sort of slide in and spread yourself. You might give away a free kick, but on the edge of the opposition box, do you really care?
Noor Hussein, middle of his own half on BBC Essex. Gallagher and Paul Clark with you this afternoon. Here is Taylor over the halfway line for Kevin Mayer's side. Taylor still tight to the touchline. Just Scott Morris. Taylor's got it back. Taylor dinks it in. Bridge battling away by Bromley, only as far as the chest on halfway of Noor Hussein. Rolls it forward some 10-15 yards to Bridge once more. Scored 7 days ago. Penalty in the FA Trophy defeat.
You can immediately see Jack Bridge isn't as comfortable receiving the ball. There's those areas where players can come at him from both sides behind him. When he's out wide and he's got the touchline protecting him, he knows no one's behind him. He does people all ends up. But there, he's turning one way and someone's coming and nicking it from the other side, and he's not aware of them.
Well, they've got plenty of players that are around him as well. Fylde take the lead at Altrincham. Altrincham nil, AFC Fylde, who desperately need the points, 1. Here is Westphal for Southend United. Forward by Ralph. Bridge has gone on the run, but getting there first was Webster. Shields it away, up to the halfway line. Brooklyn Carbongolo leaps, clatters down, and now it's played forward by Olamola, and now on the left-hand side. It's picked up by Arthurs. Now Tobolodge. Trying to get past Gus Scott Morris. Tobolodge does get a cross in, but over the goal and out the back for a goal kick for Southend United. They're going to have to work very hard at Southend United against an in-form Bromley team.
Really sensible defending from Gus Scott Morris there, because he was isolated 2 against 1, man on the ball, and Tobolodge went on the overlap. Gus Scott Morris went, right, I'm going with the runner, left the ball all alone and went with the runner. So now the man on the ball hasn't got anybody in front to play it to, and that delayed him, which allowed someone else to get back. And then when he did finally play it, Gus Scott Morris is with Tobolodge, putting him under pressure on the cross. Really intelligent defending.
On halfway, Noor Hussein rolls it to the left-hand side to Brooklyn Carbongolo. Gives it back to Noor Hussein. Bit of movement for Hussein to try and keep possession. He does well. Gives it to Taylor out on this near side. The Southend United right, some 15 yards inside the opposition half. Touched on first time by Gus Scott Morris. Coker back inside. And Taylor back via Hussein to Ollie Kensdale, and now out onto the far side for Westphal to gather. Gives it back to Brooklyn Carbongolo. Up towards the halfway line he goes. Sells the dummy to his marker. And here is Nathan Ralph getting it to Westphal. Ralph gets pulled down, and that's a free kick in front of the baying West stand for Southend United. Solihull Moors 1, Oldham Athletic 0 in the National League. Solihull Moors doing well. And St Albans have equalised in the National South against Chelsea. St Albans 1, Chelmsford City 1, and still Braintree 1, Aveley 0. Here at Roots Hall, 0-0 between Southend United and Bromley in the National League, but Blues have a free kick in an interesting situation. It's a long one, too near the goalkeeper, gathered by Grant Smith, using his 6'1" frame to pluck the ball out of the darkening night sky.
Yeah, that's unusual for a young Ollie Coker. Normally more accurate with his dead balls than that, and he just stood that one up and invited the keeper to come and get it.
Better one next time around. Ball on the edge of the Blues penalty area, away by Kensdale to the halfway line. Pikawa gives it to Arthurs, and now rolling it out to Reynolds. Back inside to Arthurs, just still on the halfway line. They're content to play it along their back three. Pikawa out to Whiteley on the left. Back inside to Webster. Jack Bridge was near him. Webster just about controlled it and kept it away from the blue shirt. And Callum Reynolds elects to go back to his goalkeeper, Grant Smith. 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes gone at Roots Hall. It is 0-0 between these two sides, who are both in a decent run of form, it has to be said. Mentioned Bromley, but Southend United have won 8 in 10 in the National League at Roots Hall, with just 1 defeat in 10 in the competition. Here is Pikawa down the line, come back towards him, another throw in from exactly the same position, really.
Big difference in the two teams, the way they approach it. They both play a passing game, they're both prepared to pass out from the back, but when they go back to the keeper, Blues 3 centre halves all go back and make themselves available. Bromley go back to the goalkeeper, 3 centre halves all get up on the halfway line, let the keeper knock it long, and they want to play in the opposition. They'll play in their own half as they are now when it's on, or when they need to, but they'd much rather go get early in the opposition half and go and play in there if they can.
36-year-old Webster delivering it to Callum Reynolds, who's gone on the stride forward. Middle of the Southend United half. Ball is crossed into the penalty area, headed down towards the goalkeeper, taken by Martin. The striker there was looking for something or t'other for the official.
He was looking for a penalty because Gus Scott Morris got him from behind. He pulled off the time as Wes Funguk breaks.
Wes Funguk delivering it to Jack Wood, 25 yards out. Bit of a forest of white shirts, but Wes Funguk to the edge of the area. Bridge shoots! Safe for the goalkeeper, going down to his left-hand side. Grant Smith was alert to that. Grant Smith was equal to the impressive Jack Bridge strike. 0-0.
On his right foot he probably scores, but on his left foot it's just a case of hit it, try and get it on target, which he did, and it was a good save from Smith.
Boreham Wood get a second against Oxford City. Boreham Wood 2, Oxford City 0. Here in the National League it is still Southend 0, Bromley 0. Playing 28. Here is Harry Taylor for Southend in that familiar right hand side of the back three position. Here is Kensdale at the heart of the defence. Played every match for Southend so far this campaign. Brooklyn Carbongolo over to Wes Funguk, who's back in the starting 11 today. Here is Norhu Sin for Southend. Back to Funguk. He's one of the others that have elected to use the orange boots. You can see in the snow, that's ideal. Here is Coker for Southend, back into his own half. Kensdale with a bit of pace on it, back to his goalkeeper Martin. Clears it to this near side, flicked on by the head of Gus Scott Morris, nobody in a blue shirt behind it. Webster's come to gather, and he goes back to his goalkeeper as well as we approach the half-hour mark. Still goalless. Ball down the middle from Smith, away by Harry Taylor on no ceremony whatsoever, just smashing away from the danger zone. Here is Topolodge, touching it, and chasing after it is Olamola. Can't quite get there, and it's out of play. Throw in for Southend United, which Taylor takes and plays it back to Ollie Kensdale, and he plays it square on the front of his own penalty box to Brooklyn Carbongolo. 0-0.
Looks like Corey Whiteley from Bromley's got a little bit of a back problem, whether he took a whack in the back. Certainly holding the small of his back a few times. They're moving very freely.
Keep an eye on that. Just Scott Morris has picked it up for Southend, right hand side. Gus Scott Morris has got Taylor in front of him, doesn't use him. Then challenged his Coker, and Arthurs is penalised, and it's a free kick for Southend United in a dangerous position. It's just shy of 10 yards outside of the penalty box.
Yeah, it's a terrific turn from Ollie Coker. I mean, he can moan as much as he like, Arthurs. He just got far too tight, and when Coker spun round him, he stuck his leg out. Coker goes over. It's nailed on free kick every day of the week.
Dorking 0, Woking 1, and Bournemouth 2, Oxford City 1. Oxford City pulling one back in that one. Free kick then for Southend United here on BBC Essex. Right hand side, just under 10 yards outside the penalty area. Half an hour gone. What can Blues do from this free kick? Coker delivers to the back post, headed away by Webster. Out as far as Noor Hussein, 35-40 yards out. Here's Coker again. Coker, right-footed, another long one. Brooklyn Carbongolo going up. He couldn't get between the ball and the defender, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick for Bromley.
Yeah, it's good defending. The lad's just backed in, got himself between the ball and Carbongolo, and then just let Carbongolo run into him. Never going to go and attack it and try and win the header. Just stand there, stand underneath it, get between the man and the ball, and let Carbongolo try and climb over the top of it. Looks like a foul because they both end up on the ground, but Carbongolo's effectively trying to climb over him. It's real clever defending.
Paul Clark, former Southend United centre-back, played so many times in that position for Blues and many others. Goal kick taken by Grant Smith for Bromley. Down the middle of the pitch it's gone. Taylor nearly gave it away. Urgent action for Gus Scott Morris to come to deal before Olomolo got there. Back to the goalkeeper. Forward by Pekawa. Here is for Southend United, Hussein, and now Wes Funguk up into the centre circle to the left hand side with his pass to Nathan Ralph. Ralph for the Blues, giving it back to Noor Hussein. Changes the point of attack from the left hand side to the right. Here is Gus Scott Morris. Taylor on the overlap, not used. Nice touch from Coker to Bridge, crossing in. Still the ball is a bit loose. Bromley get it away, only just though. Challenges flying in. Ball has come out to Noor Hussein on this near side. Remains goalless on BBC Essex. Good spell of action for Southend United. Here is Brooklyn Carbongolo. Gives it to Taylor. Home fans once again find their voice. Coker out onto the left hand side for Wes Funguk. Slightly miscontrolled, but no damage done. Funguk's got it for Southend. Slides it forward into the penalty area for Bridge, over on that left. Bridge for Southend. Little cheeky back heel in for Funguk. Ball with pace. He's chasing out of play for a goal kick for Bromley.
Yeah, that first attack, first wave of that attack, great little touch from Ollie Coker around the edge of the box. I'm not sure Jack Bridge needed to try and square that. I thought there was a shooting opposite. I mean, difficult for us here because the post infernal post again, but it looked like it's like sort of 12-15 yards out, all right on the right hand side, but he could have took it in a step and maybe got a shot at goal himself, but he looked to square it across.
I think the goalkeeper, the goalkeeper is struggling. I think he winced when he took that kick the time before. When he was kicking it forward there, Grant Smith, the Bromley goalkeeper, and he's receiving a treatment to, it looks like, the right ankle or the right foot, and a chance for the players to come over and take on some liquids and take on some instruction from the managerial teams. Andy Woodman for Bromley, Kevin Mayer, Southend United head coach, in amongst his players, giving out some instructions, speaking to his skipper Nathan Ralph and to Brooklyn Carbongolo as well, the youngster taking on those instructions. And now he's in discussion with his skipper as well. He's learning every match he plays. Goalkeeper still getting the treatment. In the commentary match over on 103.5 FM from BBC Essex in League 2, it's still Wrexham 2, Wrexham 1, Colchester 0. Wrexham, I think, have had a player sent off in that particular fixture, so it is a chance for Southend United to try and do something against a side that are going great guns, having got promoted from the National League, of course, alongside Notts County last term. treatment still being given to Grant Smith. And the genuinely good news is the half-time mince pies, festive treats, have arrived as well.
I shared out the sweets earlier. I'm not sharing out the mince pies.
What an afternoon to be at Roots Hall. It's not overly cold as well. Southend United firmly focused on cementing their position now, it seems, in mid-table in this division this year. They've had that 10-point deduction. They're only 3 points off the relegation zone with all of that, although there are plenty of teams in between, but only 2 points off the top half. So it's
it's but you look at it, okay, just again, it's a measure of how well Bromley have gone this year. You know, give Southend their 10 points back, and they're still 10 points behind Bromley. That's how well they've been going. I mean, it's to me, it's such a sad state of affairs. Not for these lads and the people that are involved at the football club now, but how low the club has sunk. We're thinking of them being successful, challenging for 7th place in the 5th tier of English football is deemed a success. It's absolutely criminal what's happened to this football club until now.
Dorking 1, Woking 1 in the National League, where Southend United find themselves these days. Ball is won by Funguk. Delivers it to the right hand side to Nathan Ralph. On the run to the edge of the area. Ralph getting it from Jack Bridge. Ralph gets a cross in, right across the face of goal. Nobody could connect in a blue jersey inside that 6-yard area. Jack Wood was the nearest one there.
Yeah, fully expecting Gus Scott Morris come steaming in at the back post, and I thought, where's he gone? Look round the post. He's actually run beyond the near post. He went in so early, and that's the man that you'd be looking to pick out of the back post there. But he'd had a gamble at the near post, and sometimes gambles don't come off.
I fully expected Harry Cardwell to leap and score, but no Harry Cardwell this afternoon.
Probably less likely.
Yeah. No Harry Cardwell this afternoon due to his knee injury. He's missing this particular fixture. Is the Blues' top goal scorer. So they're down to the bare bones. If you just joined our coverage, there's only one man on the bench for the Blues this afternoon. Goal kick to be taken by Grant Smith, who let's have a look and see how he kicks this after he got treatment. He still doesn't look 100%. Headed away by Carbongolo for Southend. Now headed forward down the line by Topolodge, but that's dealt with by Taylor for Southend. Now scooped away to touch by Ollie Kensdale. Throw in, which Pakawa will take. Played plenty of football in Essex as Cole Pakawa. Colchester, Billericay, Chelmsford as well. Pakawa with that throw in down the line. Here's Gus Scott Morris trying to clear it for Southend United. Bromley still threatened. Cheek is fouled, and that's a free kick in favour of his side, and it's to the left.
What we called old man Harry Taylor stuck his back into him and just waited for Harry Taylor to come round and try and nick it off him, and just bought the free kick. Was never trying to play the ball, was trying to just win the free kick, and he mugged Harry Taylor off.
And Arthurs and Kraus are standing over the ball. Two in the Southend United wall, Bridge and Funguk. Free kick to Bromley. Dangerous position. Southend United have pulled everybody back to deal with this. The free kick by Arthurs goes in. It's headed over the target. Oof. It's a goal kick for Southend United, but that was an opportunity which, in the end, Michael Cheek couldn't take.
Probably got too much on it, to be perfectly honest. He just wanted to get the slightest of glances to send it goal bound, because he had plenty of pace on it. It was a good ball into a dangerous area, and as I say, got underneath it a little bit, knocked it over the crossbar.
He's already scored 10 for Bromley this season as the striker. Ball forward by Ollie Kensdale for Southend United. Gus Scott Morris went up with it, didn't come away with the ball. Hooked away by Jude Arthurs down the middle. The 22-year-old trying to find a teammate. Here is Taylor for Southend, though, right hand side for the Blues in front of the east stand.
You see there, Nick, when that ball's in the air and centre halves are going up to head it, and Cheek has got no chance of winning it. He still just jumps across them, jumps across their eye line just to put them off. You know, it's a free header, should be simple for him, but he can't win it. But he just goes, I'll just do something just to try to put them off.
because something could happen, I suppose. Goal throw in for Southend United as we approach the interval here, although we have got plenty of time to go. 5 minutes of regulation plus plenty of injury time, you fancy, as well, due to that injury to Gus Scott Morris earlier. Thankfully, no ill effects from that, it seems. Ball is bouncing out of play onto this near side for a throw in to be taken by the aforementioned Gus Scott Morris. They were playing Tenpin bowling, were the Blues players, with the junior Blues earlier on this week. Great time down at Kingpins was had by all. Used to be Tots Disco back in the day. It's now a bowling alley. If things progressed, I hear you ask. Here's Brooklyn Carbongolo, who went running up the field, lost out momentarily to Jude Arthurs. Here is Wes Funguk and Jack Bridge, who's wide over on the left hand side, more and more now for Southend. Here is Hussein playing it over to the right for Taylor, and in turn on to Gus Scott Morris. Taylor's got it back, approaching the midway point of the opposition half. Taylor outside of the boot to this near side to Gus Scott Morris. Back in for Noor Hussein for Southend. Looks up, looks for options. Plays the simple short ball to Ollie Kensdale. Kensdale sweeps it over to Bridge on the far side. Did well to keep that in play. Passley's going to clear that. The only man up there was Cheek. Wasn't going to find him. Here is Noor Hussein for Southend. Hussein giving it to Kensdale in his own half. Just down the edge of the centre circle, delivers it to the right for Taylor. Ollie Kensdale's got it back. Blues content to keep possession. Back to the goalkeeper in the green outfit, giving it to Noor Hussein, gets it back swiftly. Martin has to deal with that with a bit of urgency. Southend United just struggling to control it, although they are keeping the ball, but just by the skin of their teeth. So they've won a throw in on the far side. It's going to be taken by Brooklyn Carbongolo. Half-time Bovril et al. Is awaited. Ball slowly moving up the park on the left. One throw in leads to another. Brooklyn Carbongolo now up to the halfway line. Carbongolo loops the header forward. Ollie Kensdale gets in. Kensdale is dispossessed by Whiteley, turns it forward, blocked by the Southend United centre-back. Carbongolo out of play, throw in. Andy Woodman just turns away from the edge of his technical area, has a discussion with others on the managerial team for Bromley. And here is his goalkeeper Smith, who hits it away long down the spine of the pitch. Whiteley. Krauss gives it to Jude Arthurs to the right. Reynolds controls, keeping it between themselves, but being hustled and hurried as well, and having to go backwards. That was Nathan Ralph's hard work. And they go back to the goalkeeper and kicked away long by Smith. Ralph gathers.
It was a good work from Nathan Ralph, but then a siding tackle coming through from behind from Noor Hussein as the lad tried to control and turn on it, and Noor Hussein went, well, you've been passing it around enough. There you go.
2 minutes of the 45 to go at the end of this half. Still, we await the breakthrough here on BBC Essex. Blues have come close, but not close enough. Hussein with a long ball forward to the edge of the area. Headed away by Bromley. Gus Scott Morris battling in to win possession. Near to the touchline. He's really tight to the touchline. Hits it against Jude Arthurs. Out of play. Throw in for Southend near the corner flag area. What can they do from this as we approach the final minute of the opening half?
Cavan going up to be the target for the long throw, so don't be surprised if it goes short.
Got the height in there as Brooklyn Carbongolo. Long throw in by Gus Scott Morris, flicked on by Carbongolo, headed away by Bromley defender Callum Reynolds. And here is Wes Funguk, gathers for Southend, giving short to Noor Hussein. Now out onto the left hand side. Blues building once more. Hussein fires across into the box. Pekawa clears it away first time. Still 0-0 on BBC Essex. Here's Harry Taylor, who's finding himself over on the left hand side just momentarily. Hit away by David Martin down the middle. It's not going to find Wood. Cleared by Webster. Pikawa into the centre circle. Brooklyn Carbongolo forward on the volley, bouncing through to the goalkeeper Grant Smith. The fourth official, Stephen Hughes, will show us that we've got, I think, 7 additional minutes to come at the end of this first half. Ball has rolled out of play. Throw in for Bromley. Jude Arthurs just has a quick word with the referee about something or other, and the 7 additional minutes have been shown by the fourth official. Free kick, which will be taken down in front of us by Pikawa. Left-footed, drilled in towards the penalty area. It's Ollie Kensdale tracking back, and Gus Scott Morris clears away for Southend United to where's Funguk? Near to the touchline. Funguk dispossessed. Ball has gone out of play over on that far side. It's a throw in for Southend.
Pikawa actually sliced the free kick a little bit, didn't go anywhere near the area he was aiming at, and so everybody was just chasing back, going, oh, hang on, we've got in the wrong position here.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely everybody.
That's a decent kick forward to the edge of the area.
It was till it faded away.
Yeah, trying to fool everybody. Certainly the 21 other players down there on the pitch. 0-0 it remains at Roots Hall on BBC Essex. Bit short ball by Brooklyn Carbongolo to Taylor, but he did get there. And then here is Ollie Kensdale back out with a more regulation ball to Harry Taylor. Taylor, former Barnet man. Blues play Barnet over the Christmas period in the home and away fixtures.
There's that forced one again, Nick. Look, see, that's really not on at that stage. Just go into somebody's feet.
As you join us on 103.5 FM from BBC Essex at Roots Hall, still 0-0 between Southend and Bromley in the National League. Blues building down the left-hand side. That's going to be cut out by defender Callum Reynolds for Bromley, who find themselves in second spot. Olamola picks it up on halfway for Andy Woodman's side. He still retains it despite the challenge of Gus Scott Morris.
Great recovery run from Scott Morris, wouldn't it? To put him under pressure from behind, because if he hadn't done that, it was one-on-one and you'd have fancied Olamola in a foot race.
Decent little match this between two informed sides in the division. We played 2 of the additional 7 minutes at the end of this first half. We kicked off late in any case, and we had a long injury delay when Gus Scott Morris smashed into the advertising hoardings early on in this fixture. Thankfully he's got back up after treatment and no damage done. Bromley build down the left hand side up against Gus Scott Morris. Here is Topolodge still retaining position. Pikawa's behind him, but Topolodge keeps it, gets the cross in, blocked by the hard-working Gus Scott Morris. Out of play, throw in for the visitors.
Like a limpet, and Gus Scott Morris wouldn't let him go anywhere, wasn't getting away from him at all, twisting and turning, stuck with him all the way. Another one of these long throws that, of course, Blues just a slight little problem.
And it's the former Colchester man to take it, Cole Pikawa. Blues have got everybody back to deal with this, including the lone striker Jack Wood. The throwing goes into the penalty area, away by the combination of Wood and Brooklyn Carbongolo, and the only man back for Bromley was Corey Whiteley. He was challenged by Jack Wood, and the free kick is given by the referee Gary Parsons.
Yeah, it looked like he might let it go, but then he realised that it was Wes Fonguk coming up and was going to probably nick the ball, tried to play the advantage, because Jack Wood went and closed him down but run across his line and bumped him. As I say, referee tried to play the advantage, and then when Bromley had lost possession, the referee called it back.
Just the one defeat in 10 for Southend United in the National League going into this.
Hugely frustrating for Kevin on the touchline, because he's looking at it and think, well, if Wes picks that up, we're 2 against 1 here.
Didn't happen. Free kick for Bromley on halfway. Once again, Blues have got everybody behind the ball.
You can't mark him like that, son. You cannot.
Free kick goes forward long by Krauss, which went straight out of play.
Oh. Michael Cheek is standing 15 yards off of Carbongolo, and he's trusting that Michael Cheek is going to come back on side and then he can step back in. But Michael Cheek's only got to come further away as he's stepping back. You ain't never going to get back to him. But thankfully, Bromley went the wrong way. Nothing you can do about Michael Cheek going and standing in there, but then you've got to go and get in line with him so that you can pick him when he comes out.
And we know the former Braintree Chelmsford Daggers player. He's good.
2 goals in his lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already in double figures for Bromley this season. Man in double figures for Southend United. Not in the lineup. Harry Cardwell, he's out injured.
I seem to remember a lot of people expecting him to come here at one stage.
He was linked, weren't he? Certainly. Especially playing round this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Well, forward goes up towards Whiteley and he controls it. Olamola, right hand side for Bromley. Deep inside enemy territory. Lays it back. Passley goes towards the byline. Challenge goes in, but still Pashley gets the deep cross in, up towards Cheek, heads it back down, and it's converted. And Bromley have scored in injury time at the end of this first half. The visitors take the lead. Southend 0, Bromley 1.
And again, it's good work on that right hand side, and the lad stood the ball up to the back post, and Michael Cheek, as we said before, pulled off at the back post, headed it back down, and Kevin's claiming that it was a little shove in the back, and his arms definitely came up, whether that was just to protect himself and the defender backing into him, but as I say, he's pulled off to the back post, headed it down, and there's Whiteley just steaming in. Fairly simple tapping for him in the middle of the goals.
Well, Corey Whiteley celebrates his 5th goal of the campaign for Bromley right at the end of this opening 45. Corey Whiteley converts. Well, that's harsh on Southend, because they have been a match for the informed side. But the all-important strike comes from Whiteley. Here's Southend though. Wood trying to pull it back. Out of play. Corner kick off Topolodge. Can Southend United hit straight back? It's their first corner of the afternoon.
Did well there, Jack Wood, because there was a definite foul in it, but he wasn't stopping him to wait to see the free kick. Chased it to the byline, then won the Blues this corner.
Well, Bromley have just taken the lead, but Southend United have a corner kick. 1 or 2 players going down on the challenge and tussles inside the penalty area. Referee wants a word, as I suspected. Jack Bridge was about to take the corner, but the referee said, I think there's a bit too much pushing and shoving in there.
Ironically, it was nowhere near the lads that went down, wasn't
absolutely. It was all on the penalty spot area.
They was all falling down around the penalty spot on the D. They went and had a word with, I think it might be Nathan Ralph standing underneath the goalkeeper.
Corner kick then for Southend United right at the end of this first half, taken by Bridge, headed away by the visitors. Wes Swunguk plays it back out to this near side to Jack Bridge for Southend. Edge of the penalty area. Bridge gets the cross in, headed away. Brooklyn Carbongolo on the edge of the box, facing away from goal. Had to give it to Wes Swunguk. Funguk's got it back. Still Southend United. Funguk. What can they do from this? It's on the left-hand side, battling to try and get the ball into the 6-yard area. Corner kick is won by Southend. Once more, Blues show industry. Once more, they try and step up. And once more, it's Noor Hussain being a threat. Corner kick for Southend United once more. This time from the left-hand side, headed away, only as far as the edge of the box. Hussain gives it to Bridge. Bridge to the byline. Is he going to win another corner? The referee blows for half-time. Southend United 0, Bromley 1 at the break. Very briefly, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was a good 45 minutes. I thought it was fairly even. I thought both sides played well in areas that the opposition let them play. Then when they got in the danger areas, both sides defended well. And it's just that little bit of nous from Michael Cheek pulling off at the back post created the opener for Bromley.
Half-time, Southend United 0, Bromley 1.
BBC Essex Sport. Victoria Polly with you on BBC Essex Sport. Slightly truncated half-time for you with that injury time added at the end of Southend United's match at the end of the first half due to Gus Scott Morris clattering into the advertising hoardings. Thankfully, he was able to carry on. Let's get the latest from a featured Essex derby in the National South this afternoon. Pete Morris watching Braintree against Aveley.
It's Braintree 1, Aveley 0, and the side separated by Tom Blackwell's 18th minute goal. Manager's nightmare, really. The corner comes in, the defensive big guys are all in position, but a winger comes out of nowhere, and as he jumps in, he's got lateral speed and height. He's got the jump on all the centre backs, and Braintree go 1-0 up. Blackwell's been the liveliest of the forwards for Braintree. He's gone down a couple of times looking for penalties, both times being waved away. At the other end, Aveley's best chances. Well, Garrett Kelly with a cross-come shot which nearly looped in underneath the crossbar and clawed away by keeper Jack Sims. And Sims then late in the half using his knees to palm away, to shin away Hernandez's shot. The story of the latter part of the half, really, Aveley trying to get their foot on the ball and get back into it, but being pressed well by Braintree and not being allowed to get the patterns going. Half-time then is Braintree 1, Aveley 0.
BBC Essex Sports. Victoria Polly with you on BBC Essex Sport. It's 4:04. Colchester United trail by 1-0 at the break, but Wrexham are a man down.
This is a real threat that Wrexham have in their armoury. Look at the trajectory, straight into the 6-yard area, flick to the far post, chance, great block by Mitchell, and turned into the back of the net, and Wrexham take the lead with just 4 minutes on the clock. We talked about the threat of the long throw, and inside the first 5 minutes, they've taken full toll of that. Wrexham 1, Colchester United 0.
Fevrier, again faced up by two red shirts, goes between them, darts into the box, Jaden Fevrier shoots, and Howard makes the save low down at his near post. Braintree 1, Aveley 0. McGeehan puts himself into a challenge, and the referee is going to deliver a red card. It's not McGeehan though, it's the Wrexham man who's been shown the red card. McGeehan threw himself into the challenge, but referee Ollie Yates feels that while McGeehan was on the floor, the Wrexham man's gone over the ball and he's been sent off. Mind drop on the edge of the box here for Greenwich, sideways to Chilvers. Chilvers on his right foot, drills one just wide of the right hand upright.
So the U's trail at the break. Tracy's been in touch on social media, says we're in the game and we've played well in patches, but still no real cutting edge. We're not clinical enough and we're shaky defending set pieces. Hopeful for the second half, but still very nervous that we slip up at the back. Taylor needs to be careful. Second half commentary on the way for you. Bit behind in the game involving Southend United and Bromley in the National League, but Blues also trail at the break.
Where's Fungal? Delivering it to Jack Wood, 25 yards out. Bit of a forest of white shirts, but where's Fungal? To the edge of the area. Bridge shoots! Save for the goalkeeper going down to his left-hand side. Grant Smith was alert to that. Grant Smith was equal to the impressive Jack Bridge strike. 0-0. Pashley goes towards the byline. Challenge goes in, but still Pashley gets the deep cross in, up towards Cheek, heads it back down, and it's converted, and Bromley have scored in injury time at the end of this first half. The visitors take the lead. Southend 0, Bromley 1.
And at Cresting Road in the Essex derby in the National South, it's Braintree who lead Aveley at the break.
Swung in from the right-hand side. That's a looping little header in. Blackwell knocks it in. Defence is looking at each other. That was an easy knock-in just outside the 6-yard box, and Braintree with the first goal of the afternoon. Braintree 1, Aveley 0.
More updates to come from that one in the Premier League. Luton lead Bournemouth by 1-0. Manchester City 1-0 up against Crystal Palace. Goalless between Chelsea and Sheffield United and Newcastle and Fulham. Keep you up to date with all the scores here on BBC Essex Sport. We'll be back with commentary of the second half of Southend United against Bromley when it resumes. But let's head back to Colchester United at Wrexham in League 2 here on BBC Essex Sport. It's 4:04. BBC Essex Sport.
And we're a couple of seconds underway in this second half. Wrexham have made a change, details of that in a second, but the U's are in their yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. They're playing from right to left as we watch on in this second period. Wrexham red shirts, white shorts and white socks. No changes for Colchester at the break, so they still, as the ball goes over the top, chance possibly for Mullin on the edge of the area. He's still got it on his left foot. Great save, Goodman at his near post, and they might be down to 10 men, but they were just putting a long ball in behind. Mullin gets the run on his man, and he had a couple of opportunities to offload the shot. Goodman makes the save. It's a corner kick to Wrexham. I haven't got a chance to run you through the teams yet because the U's are defending a corner right at the start of this second half, trailing by a goal to nil. And it's left-footed, taken low into the near post, and they've rolled it back to the byline, but the U's block it again, goes behind for another corner. David Gregory.
Yeah, very quick start to the half from Wrexham. It was just, like you said, it was just a long ball. Colchester United, well, I mean, they were holding a high line, wanting to play offside, but Mullins beaten that offside trap, and Colchester got fortunate a couple of times that just held him up, but he still managed to get it onto his left foot and get a shot away near post.
The set piece into the box, flicked away by Kelleher to the near post and out for a throw-in. So the U's have got Goodman in goal, the back four, Egbo, Mitchell, Kelleher and Greenwich. Midfield, McGeehan and Reid, the two holding midfielders, Fevrier, Jay and Chilvers in behind Taylor. The bench is Hornby, Iandolo, Hopper, Akindi, Nelson, Cooper and Hyunvian. Wrexham with a long throw into the box, look at it from Tozer, up to the far post, cleared away by the U's. Goodman was nowhere, caught under the ball. Colchester get it clear. Wrexham have made such a fast start to this second half. Look at the turn in central midfield from Andy Cannon, out wide for Tozer, back to Cannon, 25 yards from goal, sideways to the goal scorer Elliott. He goes wide to O'Connor, just has to go back and fetch the ball. Momentum of the attack momentarily lost, but it drops back in central midfield once again. This is Elliott Lee. Lee feeding off for a 1-2. Lunging challenge in from Mitchell, wins it. Comes out to McLean, drives his cross in, and Colchester are able to defend and clear the ball away. Wrexham have got Howard in goal. The back three is O'Connell, Tozer and O'Connor. Wing backs Mendy and McLean. Midfield Cannon, Cannon and Lee, and Jones is playing just in behind Mullin now after Dalby went off to be replaced by Jones at the break. The bench, Nicholas the keeper, Ford, Boyle, Davies, Palmer, Bickerstaff. Referee Ollie Yates from Staffordshire sent off George Evans in the first half. He'd already booked him, but the foul on McGeehan was a straight red card in his view. Remember, he sent off Colchester's Jay Mingy in the previous game he officiated involving the U's against Forest Green Rovers. He's also booked James McLean for Wrexham and Joe Taylor for Colchester. The U's with possession, midway point of the Wrexham half. Just trying to settle things down after Wrexham came on so strong right at the start of this second period. It goes out wide to Fevrier. On the edge of the area, shot from Reid is blocked. Sprinting out of defence came Andy Cannon to make the block. Now the referee's going to wave play on here, but he will bring it back now for the foul on Paul Mullin by Zach Mitchell. Tried to play advantage there, Ollie Yates, but in the event Wrexham couldn't make the most of it. Colchester trailing by a goal to nil. BBC Essex Sport at 8 minutes after 4.
Yeah, and that all comes about because Zach Mitchell decides to let it bounce. As soon as he lets it bounce, Mullin thinks I've got a chance here, and he's just too strong for Mitchell. Mitchell drags him to the ground. The referee quite rightly tries to play an advantage because it looked like another Wrexham player was getting on the ball first, and then the cross comes in straight into Owen Goodman, mate.
Yeah, no danger whatsoever there. So Southend have gone off their separate ways now on 95.3 FM and digital from BBC Essex and via the BBC Sport website and the app. They're a goal down at home to
BBC Essex Sport.
Good afternoon here on BBC Essex 95.3 FM, digital radio and via the BBC Sport website and app, and also via National League TV. It at the break here at Roots Hall is Southend 0, Bromley 1. Corey Whiteley scoring right at the death of that first half for Bromley after the Blues has had opportunities, they hadn't taken them. Bromley, who are in good form, did take theirs, and that is why they find themselves with the goal advantage. We did have a long stoppage at the beginning of that first half when Gus Scott Morris fell off the pitch under challenge and smashed his head against the advertising board away to our right hand side in front of the North Stand. Thankfully, after treatment, he was okay and able to continue, but that was a really worrying moment in that first half. As for the teams who are still having their half-time cuppers down in the dressing room due to the fact that we kicked off really late and we had that long period of injury time at the end of the first half, Southend United find themselves without their top goal scorer Harry Cardwell. He is missing due to a knee injury. It was a concern 7 days ago in the FA Trophy defeat ultimately against Hampton and Richmond, and the worries came to pass. The only sub for Southend United, who's just actually warming up at the moment, is Mario Velletti. They have only got one on the bench, Southend United. What a sorry state of affairs it is. They're under a transfer embargo and they are just unable to register additional players. Dan Mooney left. He had his contract cancelled by mutual consent during the week. He is going to try and find football elsewhere. He was not having a great time of it here at Southend. So, as long as there's no changes at the interval, Blues will have Dave Martin in goal, and I don't think there will be changes at the interval. Harry Taylor, Ollie Kensdale and Brooklyn Kabongolo at the back. Gus Scott-Morris and Nathan Rao for the two wide men. Wes Funguk, Noor Hussein and Ollie Coker in the midfield. Jack Wood and Jack Bridge up top. Velletti is the only sub. Bromley have got a full complement, including on the bench Miles Weston, who joined in midweek from Dagenham and Redbridge. They've got Smith in goal, Reynolds, Webster and Pikawa at the back. Pasley, Arthurs, Krehos and Topolodge in midfield. Corey Whiteley the goal scorer, and Cheek Olomalola are the two strikers. Elsewhere in the National League, by the way, they're into the second halves around the country. It is Aldershot 0, Eastleigh 3, Altrincham 0, Fylde 1. Got an early goal there, Fylde. Borehamwood 2, Oxford City 1. Still Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Wildstone 0. Dorking 1, Woking 1. Ebbsfleet 0, Barnet 0. Blues take on Barnet over the Christmas period. All the games, of course, you can hear live. You're on BBC Essex 95.3 FM. Hartlepool 0, the leaders Chesterfield 1. Maidenhead 0, Kidderminster Harriers 0. Rochdale 0, York City 0. Solihull Moors in front by a goal to 0 against Oldham. And you know here it is Southend 0, Bromley 1. Earlier this afternoon, Gateshead lost by 2 goals to 1 at home against Halifax Town. The Bromley supporters who've made the short journey around the M25 and down the A127, just situated away to our right hand side, awaiting the start of the second period. The ball boys and girls get ready to make a line either side of the tunnel down in front of us as the two teams await to come back on. And just to give you a heads up, if you're looking for commentary of Colchester United at Wrexham, that is over on 103.5 FM and Freeview channel 734 from BBC Essex. Wrexham lead that fixture by a goal to 0, but the team in second spot in League 2 are down to 10 men. Alongside us this afternoon is the former Southend United player and manager Paul Clark. What do we make of the half-time interval? What would the Southend United head coach Kevin Mayer been instilling into his side?
Well, Kevin will be reasonably pleased with Blues possession in what you could call uncontested areas. It's a feature of the modern game that very often opposition sides will let you have the ball and let you have possession in areas where you're not hurting them particularly. You know, Blues had it deep in their own half and sort of just over the halfway line and passed it well and got themselves further up the pitch. That was great. They struggled then when they got into the areas that the opposition then go, right, but now we're going to clamp down. And it's to be understood that they're going to struggle when they get there. You've got your main striker missing. You've had to juggle what is normally your main threat, i.e. Jack Bridge out on the left. Now you've had to put him inside, so you've had to change that. You've lost Khan, who's going back to Charlton. So you've been stripped to the bare bones. Of course you're going to find it difficult. You've got a young kid essentially playing up front on his own. Of course you're going to look a little bit toothless at times, but they still created chances. And you could probably argue that they created more and better chances than Bromley did in that first half. It's just that when they did get into that final third, that final opportunity at the end, They had one player on the park with that little bit of nous as a striker, just pulling off into dangerous areas, and headed it back and created the goal. And you know they're going to have a threat because they're not sitting in the table, second in the table because they're a bad side. And you know, pretty much in every game, Bromley are going to create chances for themselves, and they've got a couple of strikers that will bury them. Southend haven't got that at the moment. That's well documented. We know that, but they're still standing there toe to toe with the side that's second in the table and giving pretty much as good as they're getting.
The two teams come back out onto the field. Dark overhead now. The floodlights in full effect at Roots Hall. Not the coldest of afternoons, it has to be said, although the big coat is still on. The Bromley team go into a huddle in their half of the field. They will be attacking the North Bank end in the second period. The referee and his assistants come out onto the field as well. Gary Parsons is the official with the luminous green top and black shorts and black socks.
Greg behind us just told us the reason we were delayed. Referee before kick-off objected to Bromley's white socks clashing with Southend, so they had to go and get other socks.
Oh, good knowledge, Greg. Well done.
Well, Greg.
Excellent. Although he picked it up from somebody else, I understand, as well, so he's not that clever. But at least he imparted the information, which is excellent, as our good friends from Bromley FC passed on that particular information by all accounts. Right, we're all set to go then for the second period. Bromley in the white strip with black trim and the yellow socks. Southend United in their familiar all blue with white trim and the white socks. Whistle goes to get us up and running live on BBC Essex eventually in the second half. Bromley lead by 1-0, and they have an immediate attack which is dealt with by Harry Taylor. Kicks it away long, the Southend United defender. Down the field it goes. Byron Webster clears it to Cheek. Cheek in the D. Still going. Scott Morris gets back. Does really well to slide the ball away out onto that far side. Did well then, the Southend United wing back.
He did do well, and there's nothing subtle about Michael Cheek going through there. It was like head down.
Coming through.
I'm coming through, yeah, make way. But thankfully Gus Scott Morris came and cleared up.
Pikawa to take the throw, as we've seen in the first half. Long throwing is his threat. Orchestrating things up front. Pikawa with that long throw, headed away by Kabongolo to the edge of the area, hooked up by Wood, couldn't find Jack Bridge, coming back their way. Jude Arthurs down the wing. Pashley has won the corner kick.
Yeah, Wes Fonguk just sticking a toe out and knocking it out. Not sure he needed to make that challenge to give away a fairly cheap corner to Bromley.
Eastleigh have got a fourth at the recreation ground. Aldershot 0, Eastleigh 4. And Altrincham have equalised against AFC Fylde. Altrincham 1, AFC Fylde 1. And Bournemouth equalised against Bournemouth in the Bournemouth equalised against Luton in the Premier League. Bournemouth 1, Luton 1. Corner kick here for visitors Bromley, which is hurled into the Blues penalty area. Funguk going up, everybody's stretching for it. It's gone out of play, out for another corner, this time on the left-hand side.
A little bit panicky in the Blues defence there, where Funguk, ball's bouncing around and he's just lashing at it. Just kicked it against his teammate backside and out for another corner on the far side.
Arthurs will go over to take. Jude Arthurs, who was at Gillingham as a youngster. 2 minutes have elapsed of the second period. Arthurs gets a deep cross in to the back post. Grabbed by the goalkeeper, David Martin.
Big deep corner to the far post, and they tried to head it back across. And that lad in the near post just trying to flick it on, and Dave Martin come and picked it off his head.
In the Premier League now, Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 0. And Manchester City get a second goal as well in their game against Palace. Here come Bromley, 25 yards out, going into the penalty area. Stretching was Olomola. Cleared away though by Southend United. Back towards the Blues box. Ollie Coker is going to deal with this. Coker up to the halfway line.
Sorry, Nick Cabangolo breathing a huge sigh of relief because a really poor ball tried to play it into the middle of the park and just gifted it to Bromley. Thankfully they weren't able to take advantage.
Southend trying to get back on terms. They're 1-0 down at the moment. Taylor forward for Southend. Ollie Coker, it's all wide on the right hand side. Hussein, low one into the box. It was a teasing one, was looking for Jack Wood, cleared away though by Bromley. Olamola, over the halfway line he goes, up against Kabongolo.
The runner, Nick.
Inside, the ball is pulled back to the edge of the area by Passley.
Brilliant.
South United going to clear it.
Now Hussein. Brilliant.
Hussein gets it away. Gets through so much work in the middle there.
Oh, he had a lot of ground to cover there just to recover, but then when he got there and the ball was cut back and he intercepted it, just switched completely the other way, working 100 miles an hour, then he switched off and went, right, now I can just be nice and calm. Sold a little dummy, then put his foot on it and then just played it out nice and calm. Brilliant from him.
Barnet taking the lead at Ebbsfleet. Ebbsfleet 0, Barnet 1. Barnet trying to chase down Bromley at the top. Bromley are in second for the start of play. Chesterfield 8 points above them. Right hand side, Southend United have possession with Gus Scott Morris getting it from Coker. He's giving it back to Ollie Coker, who's made the run forward. Gus Scott Morris trying to turn in first time, hits the marker, out of play, throw into Southend, middle of the opposition half. It's going to be taken after 5 minutes of this second period by Gus Scott Morris himself. Gets it back, Gus Scott Morris along the ground. Taylor to the halfway line he goes with the pass for Kensdale, and here on the left is Brooklyn Carbongolo. On one more to Wes Funguk. Funguk back in the starting 11, gets it back from Ralph. Funguk pulls it back, big charge at Southend. Wood had the shot and it's scrambled away from the edge of their 6-yard area by Bromley. Still 1-0 though, the visitors lead. Ralph battling to win a throw-in on this near side. He wins the throw-in on this near side. And the Blues fans getting involved once more.
Yeah, did well Jack Wood there to turn, get the shot in, and just couldn't get quite enough power on it to trouble the goalkeeper. He was hoping someone else was coming in at the back post for the rebound, but he turned and spun, got the shot away really well. Ooh, that's
throw-in. Noor Hussein eventually gathers. It's Taylor back into his own half to Kensdale. Hussein is the man used. Coker had come back to offer himself as well, but he didn't use him. Here's Kensdale, the Southend, the linchpin at the back. Kensdale forward to Jack Bridge as Newcastle take the lead against Fulham in the Premier League after exploits in Europe in midweek. Here is Bridge out onto the far side for Ollie Coker to Gus Scott Morris. Moves in from the touchline, can't beat the first man with the cross, but wins the throw in. And his long throws are a worry, but he goes somewhat short on that occasion to Bridge. Now Gus Scott Morris with a ballooned cross in, but it's going to come down to Wes Funguk on this near side. Funguk crosses it in, but it had gone out of play. The linesman concurs with you that it had gone out of play, and it's a goal kick for Bromley.
Yeah, it was so tight to the byline, you couldn't believe it was going to balloon that high and not swing out at some stage.
Eastleigh got fifth at Aldershot. Eastleigh leading against their opposition by 5-0 now. Been playing 7 minutes of the second period. Early stages here after a slightly delayed kick-off and a long injury delay at the end of the first half as well. So we will be finishing well after 5 o'clock tonight, GMT, and the throw-in is for Bromley in front of the West Stand. Middle of the Southend United half. Down to Jude Arthur as it goes. Pushed back inside. Cheek laying it back. Now out into a bit of room for Passley. Passley up against Ralph. Cross goes to the near post, taken by goalkeeper Dave Martin. Just about.
Yeah, yes. Got the slightest deflection on it, and Martin did well to get across to make sure it didn't go out for the corner.
Bowls it out over arm.
Sure, he wanted that.
To Taylor, who is being closed down by Topolodge. They've kept it though, Southend United. And Ollie Kensdale's giving it away. Olamola nipped it away from Kensdale, and it rolls it to Cheek, and Cheek scores, and Bromley convert, and the top goal scorer's got another, and Southend add to their own downfall there. Southend 0, Bromley 2.
Yeah, it's when Olamola won it, I just thought it was just a chance Cheek was going to get himself in front, so that when he squared it to him, he was going to be offside. He's got too much experience for that. Just held himself back and just invited him to roll it in front, and then it was tapping for him. But it's one of those things that you're going to have to accept with Blues, because of the way they play out from the back. Every now and again they're going to drop a clanger like that.
2-0, and it's now going to be really difficult for Southend United, who are light on numbers. Nowhere really that the head coach Kevin Mayer can go. He's only got that one man on the bench, that is Mo Valetti, and against a side that are going great guns in the National League, they celebrate that second, and they realise how big that second is. That
Very
is a
much
big
so,
goal,
because I mean, a couple of early chances right at the start of the second half of Bromley, and then it fell away. And then from that point on, Blues were starting to get a little bit of leaf and thought get a bit of a head of steam up, and you thought, they might get themselves back into this. And I was thinking, I'll tell you what, if Blues get the next goal when it was still 1-0, you'd fancy them to pick up the tempo, and Bromley could be struggling. But now it's 2, you kind of think, well, Bromley will think, well, you know, we can concede one and we're still going to be all right. They'll try, obviously, not to concede the one, but just give them that little cushion. And it was so unfortunate because it was so unnecessary.
Tough ask now for Southend. Long throw in by Gus Scott Morris into the area, headed away by Bromley. Olamola delivered it onto this right hand side, but the misplaced pass nearly picked off by Fungo, but Olamola takes it away from him. Taylor goes in with a challenge, kicked out on this near side, took a deflection off a white shirt by Kensdale, so the throw in is Southend United. It came off Krauss last, the young 19-year-old.
I haven't seen
glance against him.
Sorry, I haven't seen anybody make that recovery tackle going back towards own goal as effectively since Ryan Leonard left here. He used to do that all the time, run it back the other way, reach behind them, hook that out. Harry Taylor does it exceptionally well. He ain't quite the player that Ryan Leonard is yet.
Solihull Moors 1, Oldham 2. Oldham in front. Brooklyn Carbongolo on halfway for Southend United, who are 2-0 down in the National League here at Roots Hall this afternoon. They desperately, Blues, need this transfer embargo to be lifted, the takeover to be completed, and then just try and reassess the situation as the season unfolds. Free kick for on halfway for Bromley.
You just get the feeling that everybody in a blue shirt now is starting to feel that the world is against them, including this referee. The outside world does seem to be against them, the way things have gone, but now the last thing they want is to start believing the referees on their back as well.
Yeah, you don't want, you're bereft of players, as can be seen by the team sheet. You don't want suspensions to kick in as well. Wrexham, the 10-man of Wrexham have scored a second against Colchester in League 2. It's now Wrexham 2, Colchester 0. That game is over on 103.5 FM from BBC Essex. Free kick taken, picked up by Pashley on this near side. Came through the Fulham youth ranks. Pashley gets the cross in, but it's going to be cleared away by Southend United. They've still got opportunity to retain possession. Reynolds goes back into his own half, and via Webster he's gone through to the goalkeeper, who plays it down the middle. Grant Smith, opportunity for Olamola, but David Martin tangled with the midfielder Pashley. No, it wasn't, it was Krauss, and that's going to be a free kick for Southend United, and David Martin, the Southend United keeper, will need some treatment. Aldershot, by the way, pulled one back in their game against Eastleigh. Aldershot 1, Eastleigh 5.
I think Blues can consider themselves sounds silly to say, very lucky when the goalkeeper's laying down injured, but fortunate that the referee blew up for a free kick there, because to me, Dave Martin's come charging outside the box. He's running out of the players. The midfield players just running in, chasing the ball, and the Cabangolo didn't even know he was there. He's run off his back, and Cabangolo's standing there watching the ball go through, and Dave Martin's just come out, and to me it looked like a 50. I could well be wrong, but it looked like a 50-50, and I think the referee, Blues were extremely fortunate. The referees deemed that to be a free kick, because Olomolo just about to walk it into a pretty much empty net.
Well, it's Kraus that tangled with David Martin. The teenager suffered nothing in all of that, but David Martin is getting some fairly lengthy treatment as he kept the number 1 jersey.
I tell you what, fair play to him though, Nick, because if he hadn't come
he had to come out.
They're scoring.
Yeah, he definitely had to come out.
He's took one for the team there. Well played to him.
He got the nod ahead of Colin Dengundi. He can't play due to the league rules. Can only have the 1 goalkeeper. Though he is coming back from that long-term injury which he picked up in the summer.
Explain to me, because he was brought in as an emergency for Colin.
Yeah.
Colin can't come in unless
Colin could, unless they get rid of
David.
David would have, David would have to go off the books.
Yeah, because he's no longer an emergency.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's still obviously coaching, but he wouldn't be able to play because the emergency keeper situation wouldn't be needed.
Apply,
I see Nick Hayes as well went somewhere else.
Not like it gets complicated, is it?
It's not helping the situation, is it, Southend United, all these rules. The goalkeeper's got back to his feet. Whilst all that's happening, let's go to the National South. Braintree Town against Aveley in the Essex derby. Pete Morris has the update.
We're nicely poised here. It's Braintree 1, Aveley 0. That first half goal from Tom Blackwell still separating the sides. And in the second half, Aveley trying to get a bit more energy in their game and trying to get back into it. But every time they have a little surge in energy, Braintree seem to come back at them faster. Braintree have had the better chances. Blair and Coltist both with shots saved by Jonathan North in the Aveley goal. At the other end, Aveley's only chance, a free kick really. A good one though, or the Lucy looping it over the wall, but well saved by Jack Sims in the other side. We've had the substitutions midway through the second half. And that means a change of formation for Aveley, with Gabodi on his own up front now and Hernandez in support behind. Meanwhile for Braintree, their new man Aaron Sibia, who was actually the provider of the goal, he's gone off after a very impressive first opening appearance for Braintree. They continue to lead, Braintree 1, Aveley 0.
Thanks, Pete. We're in trouble here at Roots Hall because Dave Martin is not going to be able to continue for Southend United. He's either got a rib injury or an arm injury. He is coming off, and Southend United, with no sub-goalkeeper, will have to put, and I think it will be Gus Scott-Morris, an outfield player between the sticks. They're just simply not helped by the rules as they are, Southend United. Well, whether they should be helped or not is open to question, but
when you think they've got one other fit player at the football club. Remind me what position he plays in?
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
We want Martin out is the cry around Roots Hall. You can hear the frustration of the Southend fans. You can understand it. You can really understand it. So Mario Valletti is coming on effectively in place of the goalkeeper Dave Martin, but there'll have to be a sort around because Gus Scott-Morris will be the substitute Southend United goalkeeper. Jason Demetriou would have been in that position had he have done that earlier, had he have been playing, because he is usually the outfield player that would go in, but it's Gus Scott-Morris who's gone in.
I think that would be Valletti will just go out as a right wing back. I would imagine that would be a straight swap for Gus Scott-Morris, with Gus going in between the sticks.
Well, it's not fair on those players. It really isn't. It's not fair on
the management.
It's not fair on the fans.
No, absolutely right.
And I'm afraid there's only one man that you can say is to blame for the position that they've been put in. He is relinquishing the club.
Is he?
Eventually.
Is he?
but it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Ron Martin, the still current chairman of Southend United. The football has resumed here. Southend 0, Bromley 2. Well, I've never seen Gus Scott Morris play in goal for Southend, but that's what he's doing right now. They're 2-0 down at the moment at Southend, and they've got quite a few matches to come in the next week or two. Got trip to Kidderminster and then the Barnet home and away game over the Christmas period.
How are you going to get through that with a squad that's stretched as? I haven't got a clue. I don't know if that's offside, son. You've got well played.
Mario Velletti did well there for Southend United. He's then pushed off the ball. That's a free kick for Southend United. And Blues take that free kick really quickly. Here's Nathan Ralph on the left-hand side. Ralph for Southend. Noor Hussein for Southend, 25 yards out. Rolls it to the left. Jack Bridge. Back heel, cheeky from him. Here's Noor Hussein. Wes Funguk controls. Funguk to the left for Nathan Ralph, to the byline. Wins a corner kick for Southend United.
Do you know what? This sounds silly, and in no way should it be possible. But I still wouldn't bet against this lot getting something out of the game.
Absolutely. Who knows what will happen? Stick with us here on BBC Essex, wherever you may be. Listen to our commentary from. Corner kick for Southend United. 2-0 down. But what can they do from this corner? It's a D1. It's eluded everybody. And it bends out. Ollie Kensdale was racing in on the back stick, but couldn't quite get there.
No, normally you'd go, well, where's the organisation? Where's the man coming round the back, the deep runner? But how can you be organised when you've just basically gone, anybody can fit a pair of size 6 boots because you can get a game here? How can you expect it to be organised? So unfortunate, because that was a great ball into a good area, and if there had been anybody coming around the back post, there wasn't a white shirt to be seen there.
Altrincham 2, AFC Fylde 1, and Maidenhead 1, Kidderminster 0. Blues at Kidderminster next Saturday, live on BBC Essex 95.3 FM, digital radio, and via the BBC Sport website and app. Bromley hook it forward down the left-hand side. Southend United with outfield player Gus Scott Morris between the sticks, looking at things in front of him, seeing Bromley in possession, middle of the opposition half. Olamola slid through over to the right-hand side. Pashley into the box he goes, to the byline, wins a corner, or was it a double deflection? Double deflection. Hit Nathan Ralph, but then back against Pashley and out of play for a goal kick for Southend.
Yeah, that was poor from Pashley there, because he had loads of time, and he just abused the time that he had and waited till somebody got across. Jack Bridge being handed a little note, I think, from Kevin Mayer, which is now being passed around.
Here is Brooklyn Carbongolo to the left-hand side. Funguk for Southend. Funguk playing it forward down the left-hand side. Bridge tried to get there. Foul is committed on Funguk.
That was it again, Nick. That one where they play it, go to make the run, and the player steps across him. Don't have to go into a foot race. You just stop him getting the ball the other side. The referee saw it that time.
Crystal Palace pull one goal back against Manchester City. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 1 in the Premier League. All the goals on Match of the Day tonight on BBC One. Free kick for Southend. Wes Funguk back on his feet. Gives it to Noor Hussein. Back inside to Funguk. Has to adjust his right. Nutmegs his man. On the edge of the area. Funguk still has the shot. Blocked by a hand? Question mark. Nothing given by the referee. It's rolled through to the goalkeeper, Grant Smith.
No, I wouldn't expect a penalty given there, because he's hit the
Smashed
shot.
Straight
at him. He's barely a yard away. And then when it came out, he got the opportunity to shoot again, but unfortunately not a great deal of power and straight at the keeper Smith.
Aldershot are coming back into this in their game at the Recreation Ground. Aldershot 2, Eastleigh 5. Still a big ask, in fairness, for Aldershot. Here, big ask for Southend United. 2-0 down, and they've lost their goalkeeper, Dave Martin. Been forced off due to injury, with no sub-goalkeeper on the bench and only one man on the bench. They've had to put Gus Scott Morris between the sticks. Here is Passley on this near side. Olamola rolling it back, and then a misplaced pass out of play by Reynolds, and that's going to be a throw-in for Southend. Going to be taken by Nathan Ralph. As we've ticked past the midway point of this second period. Southend 2-0 down against Bromley. Ball in the middle third. Olamola's chest, then he prods it forward. Goalkeeper Gus Scott Morris, you heard that right, gets the ball as he watches where it's landing. It's inside his penalty area, so he can pick it up, and he gives it to Ollie Kensal.
Sentences you never thought you'd hear.
But I didn't think
Gus Scott Morris.
Goalkeeper Tesfaye Bramble was another one which I never thought I'd use in the years gone by. Here is Wes Funguk. Funguk was being pulled back, gets to the byline, wins a corner kick for Southend, and this has given Blues some hope and got their tails up a touch.
And that's very often the case when you know something happens in a game and it just gets the crowd live up and it picks you up, you pick up the tempo. Out of adversity can come great things.
Newcastle 2, Fulham 0 from St James's Park in the Premier League. Here in the National League, it's 2-0 as well in favour of Bromley. Blues have a corner kick which they fire deep. Goalkeeper though on the edge of his 6-yard box gathers.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody challenging for that. I mean, it's right on the edge of the 6-yard box. Got to be steaming. That's an area that you've got to hit every time, and if the goalkeeper wants to come out and get clattered there, that's up to him, but you can't let him have a free catch 6 yards out, right in the centre of the box.
Wonder what that note said from Kevin Mayer, which was passed around the team. Ball play forward for Bromley.
I thought it was the Secret Santa he was passing round.
Picked up by Arthurs, left hand side. Bromley now coming forward. Kraus. Massive kick.
Tell me what he was trying to do there.
I'm not quite sure what Jude Arthurs was doing, but it's gone out of play and it's a throw into Southend deep inside their own half, in front of the Bromley supporters who are watching on. Rochdale go in front against York City at Scotland. Rochdale 1, York City 0. Two famous old EFL clubs who now find themselves in the 5th tier. York, of course, went down further than that. Right hand side, Blues going forward.
Well played.
A couple of 3 points off the relegation zone, Southend, in the National League. Here is Ollie Coker. To the edge of the area he goes. Cheeky little back heel. Kabongolo rolls it to Wes Funguk. Funguk to the left hand side for Jack Bridge. Bridge on the edge of the box. Two round him. He's pushed down. That's a free kick. Obvious decision for the referee to give there.
He's done well, Jack Bridge there. He's invited that challenge from the two of them and then just made sure he had to go. Not sure they haven't chucked Kabongolo up front, you know.
Seeing where he was, you know, when that ball was played just moments ago. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought. He's certainly adjusted where he's playing.
Perhaps that's what the note was saying.
Get Brooklyn up the park. Free kick then for Southend United to the left-hand side of the penalty area. What can they do from this?
So what, the keeper goes back post. He could catch him at the near post here.
Ollie Coker with the free kick. It's to the back post. It just went in front of Kabongolo. Out of play, goal kick.
Again, not like Ollie Coker. Normally hits the target and makes either the defenders or the goalkeeper do something. That one they were just able to watch it go and sailing by. Yeah, so it looks like Nathan Ralph has dropped into the back three. Jack Bridge out wide left and chucked Kabongolo up front.
Alongside Jack Wood. Hartlepool nil leaders Chesterfield 2. And Solihull Moors 1, Oldham get a third 3. Here at Roots Hall, live on BBC Essex, it is a throw-in for Bromley.
So essentially you've got what was Blues' preferred back three earlier in the season, and Brooklyn Kabongolo, just a straight replacement for Harry Cardwell.
Ball whacked forward by Taylor to Brooklyn, just in the middle of his own half now, rolls it back. Here is Taylor again. trying to shield the makeshift goalkeeper Gus Scott Morris. He's got the green jersey on, but still his blue shorts and white socks. Here is Ralph to Bridge on the left. Wes Funguk making the run. Funguk towards the byline he goes. Still Wes Funguk rather. It's run out of play and it's going to be a corner kick.
Got that one wrong as well. He towed it against Wes Funguk and Wes run it out of play. Got a booking for dissent, but I think he was right.
Yellow card for Passley.
But great play from Wes Funguk on that left-hand side to take him on and be direct. Knew the defender couldn't have a touch in because he got himself into the box.
They seem to be getting frustrated. The visitors.
Well, they would be expecting it to be easy now.
Despite their 2-0 lead.
Yeah, 2-0 lead and
corner kick, which is a deep one. Goalkeeper again is there. He's commanded his penalty area.
Credit to the goalkeeper because he's been positive. Every time that stood up for him, he just makes his mind up and goes, right, I'll go and get that. And gives a nice loud shout so the players around him protect him. And that's why no one's hitting him, because the players around him are just blocking off their run, so he gets a free catch at it. It's good defending and good goalkeeping.
Well, I've just seen a tweet from Chris Phillips from the Southend Echo saying it's farcical that the National League are allowing it to come to pass at Southend. I've only got one on the bench. They've got now a makeshift goalkeeper. It is madness. Meantime, Brooklyn Cabongolo commits a foul on Webster, and that is a free kick in favour of Bromley. But it is madness, isn't it? Yeah. This is just a mess.
Just on Cabongolo, it's just leading with his arm there, and that's just the centre half playing at centre forward, not knowing exactly where he is or where the people around him are, and attacking the ball a bit different. But yeah, it isn't it? It's an absolute farce. And the annoying thing, it's not like these rules are being made specifically for Southend United. The rules are in place. It's the way that the club has been allowed to fall. Put themselves into this position where they're picking up these punishments. And as we've said before, it's nothing to do with these lads from the boardroom, just outside the boardroom down.
Blues with the minus 10 points as well, of course, in the National League, been deducted them. Here at Bromley, who are 2-0 up. Olomolo gets the turn and shoot, and it's well taken by the standing goalkeeper Gus Scott Morris. Well done.
Well done from all three. Great play by Cheek to cut it back to Olomolo. Then a good shot on the turn, and safe hands Gus.
Safe hands Gus. Dorking 1, Woking 2 in the National League, and it's Ebbsfleet 0, Barnet 2. Second goal for Barnet in that game, and Newcastle have got a third in their game against Fulham in the Premier League. Bridge on the left hand side for Southend at Roots Hall. Here's Wes Funguk, stands up a high cross. It was too much weight behind it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. Well, they've had plenty of opportunities since the change in the goal.
Well, they've had dominated possession since then, but you just get the impression that Bromley are kind of going, well, we don't mind that, we'll defend that up there, but they've shown that they can hit you on the break. The more Southend chuck bodies forward to try to get something back into the game. You get the feeling with Cheek and Olomolo up there that they're just waiting to pounce on that one error again, or Blues leaving themselves short-handed, which they have to do. You might as well lose 3 or 4 as 2, mightn't you?
Cheek's already scored 1 this afternoon. He scored in the reverse of this fixture earlier on in the campaign as well. Here is Kensdale playing it back to Gus Scott Morris. Comes out of his penalty area, does the standing goalkeeper. Kicks it away long, got good distance on that. Up the field it goes. Albans in front against Chelmsford City in the National South. St Albans 2, Chelmsford 1. Braintree still in front against Aveley in the Essex Derby in that division. Ball is rolled back to Gus Scott Morris, calmly, just outside his area, rolls it to skipper Nathan Ralph. Here is Noor Hussin, back to Ollie Kensdale. Ralph again, Funguk for Southend, left hand side. Funguk still. Hussin, left hand side of the field once more. Ralph plays it in, didn't find Jack Wood, who's got little change up top as Jack Wood this afternoon. Yet to add to his 2 goals for Blues so far this season.
I'm not asking a lot of him, though, Nick.
Oh, absolutely.
The same as it is for all of them, but particularly a young kid saying, yeah, go out there and lead the line for a side against a side top of the table or near as damn it top of the table.
Throw in for Southend after Bromley cleared it away, and the throw middle of the Bromley half is going to be taken by Jack Bridge back to Nathan Ralph live on BBC Essex. Kensdale back to Gus Scott Morris, who's got the green goalkeeper jersey on now after that injury to David Martin earlier on in this half. Martin wasn't sent off for anything, it's still 11 against 11, but because they're so short-staffed, no sub-goalkeeper, of course. Here is not allowed to have one. Here is Noor Hussein for Southend United, being hustled and hurried by Olamola. Taylor plays it wide to the far side of the pitch. Blues building. Coker played it back in, and here he is again. Forward to Wood, pulled back. Mario Valletti lays it back. Hussein had a shot, that was blocked. Noor Hussein in the D, goes down under challenge. Play on, says the referee. Blues have possession. Jack Bridge to the back stick. Carbongolo has scored! Unbelievable! The defender up and the makeshift striker in a threadbare Southend squad has pulled one back. His first goal for the Blues. Southend United 1, Bromley 2. Don't stop believing.
I tell you what, Nick, ex-players would never ever make referees. There's the three lads, Kevin Mayer, Mark Bentley and Darren Curry, up and jumping and screaming on the touchline at the referee for not giving the free kick in the D. They are absolutely livid. Ball goes out to Jack Wood, stands it up at the far post, and Carbongolo says, thanks very much, we're back in this game. Any one of those three would have given the free kick and pulled it back. A great play from that left-hand side. A super cross, the stand-up, took everybody out of it, and there's Carbongolo. Exactly why Kevin put him up there.
Passley towards the byline. Good challenge in by Nathan Ralph. Well, we mentioned the stong from Journey, but they've got 10 minutes of Southend. Surely they can't get something from this fixture. They've got a standing goalkeeper. The big defender's gone up top. Unbelievable. It's 2-1. Everything that's thrown at Southend, they seem to have an answer to. It shouldn't be this way, but they do. Throw in for Bromley, deep inside the Southend half. Passy to the byline. Gets a deep cross in. That's going to be Valletti to marshal out for a goal kick. And it'll be taken by Gus Scott Morris, who is playing in place of David Martin, who's been injured in this second half.
Careful.
2-1 it is. Here is Taylor and Kensdale, and he gives it to Ralph. Ralph playing it forward for Southend. Wes Funguk gathers, middle of the opposition half on the left-hand side. They got enough white shirts back to deny him, and they play it up to halfway. Cheek turns it on. Omalola is going on the run. Omalola gets the cross in. Well Taylor cuts it off, and Ralph completes the clearance. And now there's a bit of room. Mario Valletti chasing over the halfway line. Plays it square. Ollie Coker to Wes Funguk. On again to Jack Bridge on the left-hand side. Jack Bridge for Southend. On the edge of the box. Hussein made the run. Still Bridge. Square to the D. Coker back to Ralph. Has to adjust himself to get to that. Here's Bridge inside. Hussein to Funguk. Turns inside the area. Funguk crosses. And he's gone. No, Wood. Oh, then he's skied over by Brooklyn Carbongolo. Wood had the chance. That was blocked. And remarkably, it stays out. Unbelievable.
I tell you what, I've played insides. I've seen sides and I've played insides that go a goal down and would jack it in. This lot have got more spirit than London Gin. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just don't know when they're beaten.
Yeah, it is quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. Bromley are going to make a double change. Miles Weston
get an easy afternoon.
Miles Weston is about to come on, former Southend United player.
Yeah, what's he ever do?
former Daggers wide man. He joined during the week. Louis Dennis as well, who's played football around these parts, will be joining the fray for Andy Woodman's side. Where's the ball? The ball is away. Oh, right, so that's why they were all moaning. I was looking for the ball, it was kicked away. Pashley will take the throw in from the wrong place. The home fans aren't happy. Pashley, though, takes it from virtually on the halfway. Goes out of play off cheek, that's a throw in for the Blues.
And now watch how far Nathan Ralph comes up and nobody will say a word.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes forward to Kabongolo, who scored this afternoon. Switches it out to the right-hand side. Either. Mario Belletti chasing after it. Lot to be done for the substitute. The only sub for Southend United. Out of play by Bromley, throwing for the Blues.
Got to wait for the substitution. I'll tell you what, Nick, they're panicking a little bit.
Miles Weston is the first to come on for Josh Pashley. All this happening in the dying embers of this game, but we've still got plenty of twists and turns of your fantasy. 5 minutes to go of regulation, and Dennis is coming on for Olamola. So the first couple of changes being made by Andy Woodman, and I think it's just to swap things round, just to calm it all down and just try and take the sting out of the match. Southend United will resume with a throw-in on the far side. What can they do from this? Can they get the ball into the penalty area? Belletti. Oh, took a double deflection. Yes, it did there as well, and that's going to be a goal kick for Bromley. What's going to happen? 5 minutes of the 90 to go.
I ain't going to predict. I've got no idea. You just cannot predict this lot.
You did say, didn't you? You know, you don't rule anything out, and you never know. You never know. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 2. Palace equalising at the Etihad. Here at Roots Hall in the National League, Blues have a throw-in. Just to recap, Bromley were 2-0 up, Whiteley and Cheek converting. Then David Martin picked up an injury, and a yellow card is given to Noor Hussein. We'll get Paul on that in a second. David Martin got the injury, so Gus Scott Morris had to go into goal. Southend only had that one on the bench, so he had to come on. So still 11 against 11. And then on 79 minutes, Brooklyn Carbongolo, the tall defender who is now playing up front, converted to make it Southend 1, Bromley 2, and the chances still come for Southend. But now a ball over the top, which Gus Scott Morris sees the danger in. He gets out of his penalty area to clear it away as Louis Dennis was coming through.
Yeah, it was Noor. The ball went out for a throw, and Noor was moaning at the referee, tell them to speed up. Then said something, and the referee called him over. Noor just kept walking away from him or turning away, and then eventually the referee got him to face up to him, had a word with him, and then Noor went and said something else, so the referee went, okay, I'll put that.
Yellow card.
Which is a silly one, but just one more thing that Blues could do without.
Bromley kept the ball in. Louis Dennis plays it into the area, it goes. Miles Weston gets the cross into the 6-yard area. Well done, Blues. Harry Taylor got back, and he clears out the back for a corner kick.
That was lovely football from Bromley to create that position. They got Miles Weston sprung down the right hand side, squared it across the box. Harry Taylor did remarkably well to get across at that near post and slide it out for this corner to Bromley.
Solihull 2, Oldham 3, a full-time score from the West Midlands. Here, Jude Arthurs with a corner kick then for Bromley. It's a deep one, headed down. Southend United got it to the edge of the area, not fully cleared. It's bouncing around. Miles Weston on the D. Southend United breaking with Jack Bridge chasing it through. Can he get it through to Wood? Just about stopped, but it does find Wood in the end, but cleared away. And then a long-range effort from his own half. Goes high and straight into the goalkeeper's arms, and that goalkeeper is Gus Scott Morris. You should join us on 103.5 FM on BBC Essex. Gus Scott Morris is between the sticks for Southend United after David Martin was injured earlier on in this second period. Blues are 2-1 down, but they're giving it everything here to try and salvage something from the fixture where so much is against them. Bromley are going great guns in the division, were 2-0 up. Then injury happened to David Martin, and Brooklyn Carbongolo, who's now playing as a makeshift striker up top, converted his first of the season for Southend, his first in his career for the Blues, with some 11 minutes to go. So it's 2-1 at the moment. Southend United are chucking everything, including the kitchen sink and the dishwasher at Bromley, and we've played 43 minutes of the second period. I reckon there'll be a touch more injury time to come as well. Ball down the line for Southend United. Carbongolo battling for it. Here is Noor Hussein, recently booked. Shovels it over onto the far side of the pitch, but it's the visitors who are breaking. Whiteley on the edge of the area, opportunity, they're leading 2-1, but Southend United get the bodies back, and Ollie Coker was the man to get the vital touch in to nip it away from the breaking Bromley player.
Magnificent Ollie Coker, and now he's on the ball, setting up the attack the other end.
Gives it to, on halfway, Nathan Ralph. 2-1, Southend United still behind here on BBC Essex. Left hand side, Jack Bridge. Bridge gets it into the area. Here is Wes Funguk, rolls it to the left. Ralph crosses in. What's going to happen? The visitors clear it away. Only as far as Taylor has the shot. That's blocked. Comes to centre circle for Ollie Kensdale. Taylor again. Forward it goes from Noor Hussein into the area. Jack Wood for Southend. Wood being forced wide out onto the right hand side. Doing well, keeps control of the ball. Blues retain it. Taylor out to Jack Wood again. Brooklyn Carbongolo's waiting on the edge of the area. Ollie Coker crosses in just over the head of Carbongolo, and it's going to not come through to Jack Bridge. Rolls out of play, and it's going to be a
9 minutes, Nick.
A goal kick for Bromley. So 9 additional minutes to come here on BBC Essex.
It's my dinner burnt again then.
Well, Blues never fail to deliver. Whether they should be delivering in these circumstances is open to question and a debate for another moment. But at the moment, Southend United are giving it their all out there on the pitch against the odds. The goalkeeper, Gus Scott Morris, gathers it as it rolls through to him. Bowls out, underarm. Maybe that 10-pin bowling training during the week did come in handy. Giving it to Noor Hussein, now to Harry Taylor, approaching the halfway line. Noor Hussein thinks about going to the left-hand side, keeps it. Now he goes to the right. Mario Velletti, who was that change when David Martin had to come off due to injury. It's gone from the right to the left-hand side. Where's Funguk for Southend? In front of him was Jack Bridge, but he went for Ralph with the pass. Ralph to the dead ball line, crosses in onto the roof of the net, out the back. That's a goal kick. Kevin Mayer and his managers, assistants, all kicking the balls at the same time. They're so involved. Everybody's so invested in this.
You know what, Nick? I think back to the playoff final at Wembley when Blues came from behind. Thought they were out of it and came from behind in the last minute. And I said afterwards that that was. I didn't think they was a particularly great side, but they had a huge amount of spirit in that side because they kept coming back. I tell you what, this lot topped that. On pure spirit alone, this lot topped anything. Absolutely incredible.
6,718 of the crowd, with 298
breakaway, Nick,
from Bromley, and it's Bromley who tried to break with Whiteley, Corey Whiteley, who got the first goal for Bromley, couldn't get in on that occasion. Here on halfway is Noor Hussein, Hussein for Southend. Still going with the ball to the apex of the penalty area, crosses in, doesn't find two blue players, cleared away by the first white shirted player. Comes back to Southend, another opportunity. It's wave upon wave of Southend attack at the moment. Here is Wes Funguk for Southend, to the left hand side for Bridge. Bridge has got Miles Weston, the former Southend player, up against him, plays it to the edge of the box. Here's Wes Funguk. Funguk back in the side today. Vince Crowhouse clears it away. Throw in for Southend. And that throw will be taken by Ralph back to Kensdale. We played 3 of the additional 9 minutes here on BBC Essex. Kicked off late due to the fact that Bromley couldn't play in their white socks. They had to change to yellow ones. Then we had a long injury delay in the first half, something similar in the second. Here is Jack Bridge. Bridge gives it to Ralph. Ralph gets a deep cross in. Headed away as far as Noor, who's sitting on the edge of the area. Wouldn't come down for him. Cleared by Bromley. Cleared long. And the defending duty is dealt with by Ollie Kensdale, despite Dennis charging down on him. Calmly played by the stand-in shot stopper, Gus Scott Morris, to the right-hand side. What's going to happen in the final few minutes? Ball is played long for Southend. Cobongolo didn't know quite where it was there. He'd lost sight of the ball. It was behind him, as they say in these pantomime season. There is Ralph, left-hand side for Bridge. Bridge for Southend, down the line. Where's Funguk? Near to the byline. Funguk lays it back to Jack Bridge. Can they cross in? Bridge still for Southend United. Apex of the area. Square it goes. Koga gives it back to Hussein. Now Funguk takes a bit of a deflection. Appeals for handball by a few from behind that goal. Nothing given by the referee, Gary Parsons. Still Southend have it with Noor Hussein. Hussein 25 yards out. Goes square.
Still is
bit of room for Koga. Along the ground. Goalkeeper's behind it.
Yeah, didn't catch it quite as well as he would like. Picked up in a good position. It was initially on for Noor Hussein, then he got closed down real quickly, shuffled it across to Ollie Koga, and he just set himself but got closed down really quickly, so he couldn't shape the shot like he normally would do. Just managed to get the strike on it, and unfortunately it was straight to the goalkeeper.
2-1 here, still deep in injury time. Minutes elapsing, not long left on the clock for Southend United to try and get something from this fixture. 5 minutes have elapsed of the injury time. We're going to play 9 in total, so 4 to go. Brooklyn Carbongolo getting his first goal for Southend United in this second half. There's still 1 goal in arrears. Ball on halfway with Noor Hussein.
Sorry Nick, how are people leaving at this moment? How is that even possible?
They're worried about your meal. They're going to get there before it burns. Right hand side for Southend. Oh, they can't get around the defender there. Cleared away to the halfway. Here is Ollie Kensdale. Kensdale giving it to Nathan Ralph. Bromley happy to sit behind this. They realise the danger. They've just got their noses in front by 2 goals to 1. Now battling is Crowhouse, and he's going on the run. Ben Crowhouse to the edge of the area. Well done, Nathan Ralph. And here is Ollie Koga. Clear it to the halfway line. Can't find a blue shirt. That's a frustration. Ball is whacked back. And gathering it, watching it drop out the sky was Gus Scott Morris for Southend, the standing goalkeeper.
the standing goalkeeper that we weren't sure was going to get past the first 5 minutes.
When he smashed into the advertising hall in a really nasty injury in that first half. But thankfully, he didn't pick up any injury and all that. Here is Bridge for Southend, middle of the opposition half, left-hand side. Forward to Wes Funguk. Funguk still for Southend. Square it goes. Noor Hussein. Is there going to be one more remarkable tale at the end of this one? Mario Valletti, the substitute, has the shot. That's blocked.
Why did he go wide? Kevin's asking the same question. Why did he go wide?
It's blocked out for a throw-in, which they've taken really quickly. Valletti gets it back from Taylor. Valletti can't get the cross in really. It's blocked by white shirts, and they could break. Or will they be happy to go to the corner?
He's got too much
on
now,
the halfway line.
For his mate to run
slowly now. Moves it up, and Miles Weston trying to get past Kensdale. They challenge each other. It's going to be a free kick to Bromley and a yellow card to the Southend United defender.
Yeah, he's got exposed for his lack of pace there, Ollie Kensdale. Again, he tried to run across the line from Weston, but Weston's quick enough just to change his line, duck inside, and then get round the outside of him. And it's all Ollie Kensdale had left to do to bring him down. Right to bring him down, give away the free kick in that situation, rather than having Weston running through on goal. Defend the free kick, and hopefully you get one more chance.
maybe, just maybe, 90 seconds of the injury time to come.
This could go towards the corner flag, Nick. That's how ridiculous it sounds. Bromley in the position they are, this is going towards the corner flag.
They're 2-1 up at Bromley. They're playing against a side that are threadbare. They've got a defender in goal due to the injury to David Martin.
Second in the table.
They've won shed loads on their travels.
We've got the corner.
And it is going to be Bromley to just retain possession from that free kick. But Southend United nip in, and a free kick is committed on Bridge, as that's a set play for Southend in their left back position, which they've taken immediately. They still fancy something from this fixture to Southend, remarkable as it is to say. Last chance then for the Blues. What can they do from this? They're 2-1 down. Everyone is against them, it seems, and still they fight. Ralph goes up for Southend, down the left-hand side. Bridge plays it in to Wes Fungut. Fungut controls to the edge of the area. Here is Ralph. They
got to go in at some stage, boys. It's got to go in at some stage.
To the edge of the area to Taylor. Here is Ralph. Does he win the corner? Yes, he does. Here's the chance. Does Gus Scott Morris come up? He does. I've seen so many matches here, but I don't think I've seen one quite like this, how it's transpiring. Is there going to be one remarkable twist at the end of this National League fixture? The goalkeeper's up, Gus Scott Morris. The corner kick goes in, cleared away only to the edge of the area. Southend United are going to pick it up loosely with Ollie Coker. The referee blows the whistle. The full-time whistle is blown. Southend United lose here by 2-1. But are they really losers? They gave so much. They fought so hard. Everything was against them. Adversity, you don't know what the word means. Gus Scott Morris had to go between the sticks because of an injury to David Martin. They only had one on the substitutes bench as well. They were 2-0 down against high-flying Bromley, and the defender, the big tall defender who was playing as a striker in the second half, Brooklyn Carbongolo, reduced the arrears, and Southend so nearly got an equaliser. They had the opportunities, they just couldn't quite take them. It finishes at Roots Hall. Applause for Blues. Southend United 1, Bromley 2.